Hello there, what's going on? Random show settings, I'm back again. Random show settings. What's happening? What's crack-a-lacking? Welcome back to the random show with I, your host, Agostino Zinga. I hope you are doing well wherever this live stream may find you. I hope you are doing swimmingly. What's happening? What's crack-a-lacking? Random show settings with I, your friend, your buddy, your pal, Agostino Zinga. How you doing, people? How you doing? Holler if you hear me. Holler if you blood clot hear me. Holler if you blood clot hear me. Don't be shy. Don't be stingy. Don't be like, oh, Agostino, you took too long. Shut up and let me know if you're there. Let me know if you're there. Holler if you flip and see me. Can you see my black large head? Can you see my black large, very round, very long, very symmetrical, very smooth, very brown head? Can you see it? If you can see it, let me know down below. I'd love to know. I'd love to know. I'd love to fucking know. Big up everybody. Appreciate all you. Big up Why Not. Thank you. Never later. Black guy that works too much. You know how it is, brother. I'm trying to escape poverty, man. I keep trying to tell you guys, man. Big up my guy. Why Not? I'm trying to escape the grips of poverty. Get me? I'm trying to escape the grips of poverty. Man, trying to be Kai Cenat out here. Are you guys gonna allow me to be Kai Cenat? Are you gonna let me be Kai Cenat? Are you gonna let me be fucking Aiden Ross? All right, cool. Then I might be a bit late sometimes, okay? If you want me to be Kai Cenat, if you want me to be Aiden Ross, yeah? If you want me to be Pokimane, huh? If you want me to be Destiny, if you want me to be fucking Sneeko, you gotta help me out here. And you gotta, like, you know, not be so angry when I turn up late. But big up everybody. Appreciate you all, man. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. Another episode of the Random Show. It's going to be a fun one today. We got loads of stuff to cover. Can't wait to get into it with all of you people as you're tuning in. Really cannot wait to get into it. But big up everybody that's tuning in right now, that's right here with me. I appreciate every single one of you, and I cannot wait for us to have all the fun in the world together. It's going to be an absolute blast. It's going to be an absolute blast. If it's your first time around these parts, make sure you smash the like button down below. Let me know what you're drinking on. I wish I had a beer, but I've got a bit of water today, not a beer. Obviously heading into Monday as well, so I've got to probably be on the healthy thing. So I've got a nice water here. So let me know what you're doing. Big up Jesse L, Zinger Nation, no way. But big up Jesse L, appreciate you. What's going on, POV? What's going on, LB? What's going on, Koila, my guy? What's good? What's good? Steven Castaneda, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Now, I don't watch basketball, you know. Unfortunately, I never got into basketball. I think if I was going to get into one American sport, it would definitely be American football. NFL. I'd probably get into that. That'd probably be my sport of choice. I never was a fan of basketball, I'm not going to lie. I just think the physical advantage just put me off. Like, you have to be born tall to do it anyway. So it's like, if you get all the tallest, most athletic guys in your team, you're basically done, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of a, I don't know, it's a weird sport to watch. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, as long as you got a team of the most athletic and the tallest guys, you basically won. You know, it kind of was like there's not really a lot of skill needed. If that makes, does that make sense to you? There's not a lot of tactics or stuff needed. You just need to have a team full of absolute, you know, you get what I mean? I know if that makes sense. That's why I never really liked basketball. Whereas football, it's more tactical. Even though obviously you got a lot of big players on there, there's a lot of tactical things involved in American football. Big up top of the big up Assad, I don't understand. Big up AZ, seems like a guy who knows female volleyball. Why not get fucked? Why not get fucked? But that's hilarious. He seems like he knows female volleyball players by name. You said volleyballs or not even basketball. You taking a piss out of me. But big up, why not? Angel Reese got me into basketball. That's hilarious. By the way, look how many people now go into basketball games because of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. It goes to show, man, you get a couple of hotties, right? You get a couple of hotties in that league and suddenly everyone's watching it now. Like, it matters, man. Branding matters sometimes, unfortunately. So yeah, big up Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark for blowing up that league. The only problem is, I bet you any money, again, I don't watch basketball, but I bet you any money, the issue with women's basketball is this. I bet you the best players aren't Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I bet you the best players are some other women who maybe aren't as photogenic. You know, that's the issue you're going to have. they're the ones that actually should be getting the shine. But you know, the Caitlin Clarks and the Adri's get the most shine because, you know, they're the ones that are out there. But I bet you any money the actual best NBA player isn't a smoke show, you know? So I guess I have to figure that out one way or the other. But I do like how they're trying to grow it a little by little. I like how they moved away from the conversation. Remember before, there was some mad conversation about, oh, all women should be paid the same as men, because it's like, look, just try and build the sport to be popular first. Then you can get the money. Do you know what I mean? Let's not artificially inflate. You know what I mean? It didn't make any sense. So I like that they're trying to build it little by little, get the, you know, get loads of attention, get people to kind of give a shit about it, and then go from there. No way is what I start saying is true. The issue is that women's basketball, no, why can't they dunk? How is that not possible? Aren't they all tall? Why can't they dunk? That doesn't make any sense. What? And they play with a smaller ball, still miss when we can watch Steph. Why can't women dunk? Can someone explain why women can't dunk? How's that make any sense? So they give them smaller balls, they lower the hoop. Why can't they dunk? Oh my, that is so wild. If they can't, that doesn't make any sense. They're all bloody fucking sick athletes though. You're telling me a woman can't jump and dunk the ball into the hoop? Are you guys being for real? Or is this just a troll? There's no woman in the NBA now, in the WNBA, who can't just jump and put the ball in the fucking hoop. So women can't jump. Is that a thing? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Women can't jump. It's fucking crazy. That should be a film. That should be the name of a film, innit? Women can't jump. Yo, that'll get cut. Oh. AZ, I love you, but you're, yeah, so I'm annoying some of the basketball fans, isn't it? By my inability to understand the dunk mechanics. Body mechanics should be the same, right? Obviously your fucking explosiveness is different. Men obviously are stronger by and large. We understand that. But saying that women can't jump is really wild. I don't understand why that is. I don't know. I probably got to do the research myself. I'm going to find out myself anyway. I want to do the research because I'm a curious bunny anyway. I'll figure it out and I'll find out why it is that women can do the fucking high jump in the Olympics, but they can't fucking dunk a basketball into a hoop. Like, huh? Anyway, whatever. Regardless, who's that girl actually? Some girl put out some shoes, didn't she? Who was that young lady? Who was that WNBA player that put out a pair of shoes that are coming out? They look fucking hard, bro. I'm actually curious to get a pair. Which one were they? They're like purple. Let me see if I can find them. I think they're like a purple pair, innit? Who's the woman? There we go. There we go. There we go. Where is it? There's this particular, what's that? We're gonna go watch women's, no. We're not watching no women's fucking, but I don't even watch women's football, to be fair. So I understand why you guys are getting annoyed by my inability to understand what's going on. But I'm also the kind of person that doesn't watch women's football. Like, I just don't believe in it. It's not for me. I've never watched a single minute of any women's football in my entire fucking life, and I never will, to be honest. It's just, you know, like, why would I do that? But they were, I can't actually, I don't know where they were. They were like a particular, they were like a purple pair. I forgot what the girl's name was. I think it might have been, I think I might have found it. There was like this purple pair this girl had. I think it's these, I think, there you go. I think I might have them there. Whoever these are, let's see if I can find them. Bish, bish, bosh. Women's tennis is good. Yeah, women's tennis is amazing. Tennis is one of the tennis is a great one because tennis, like, it's great because there's so many good people in tennis. It's so highly competitive that if you're the 300th seed in tennis, it doesn't really mean you're shit. It just means you have so many. You know what I mean, you're just like 300 of the best, but that 300th one could legitimately, you know, beat most people in the world. That's the funniest thing about tennis. I love the rankings are like, you know, yeah, these are the ones I mean. These ones. Have you guys seen these shoes? It's a collaboration with Nike. It's this female basketball player called Sabrina Ionescu. She's got these shoes coming out soon. Collaboration with Nike, her own signature shoe. She's the female women's basketball player. Look at these. These are hard, isn't it? I know they look a little bit like Kobe's. That's probably why people like them. But these look really fucking good. I'm actually considering getting a pair of these. And maybe not wearing them to play because I don't play basketball. Just wearing them for the gym. These look fucking good. I really fucking like these. So big up Sabrina Ionescu. Those are really good. Those are really fucking good. Like, I really want a pair of these. Honestly, I saw these online. I was like, shit. For a debut signature shoe, props to you. Props to you. Props to this lady, bro. She went hard. She went hard. So yeah, official look at the Nike Sabrina 2s. Next slide. There you go. See? What do you guys think? And it's got her those are quite nice. So it's like a, I don't know, it's like a meshy type of thing on the outside. Nice bit of embroidery there. It's got her signature thing there just on the midsole. This nice iridescent silverish swoosh. Low profile. I really like these, I'm not gonna lie. Very, 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 very nice. I'm not too sure about the tubular laces though. I'm not gonna lie, but I think they're probably better for, like, you know, athletics and stuff and running, I'm sure. But I'm not too sure about the tubular laces. I don't really like the tubular laces, but pretty nice. I'm assuming the tongue is elastic as well, so it doesn't move around. You got a nice S hit there on the tongue. They look really nice. I like them. But yeah. We will see. We will see. Anyways, guys, let's go just jump onto the show. Enough about all that shit. Let's jump onto the show. So, as you guys know, the Diddy stuff is dominating the news at the moment. Everyone kind of reacting to the video of Diddy beating the shit out of Cassie in that hotel room in 2016. It's obviously put a lot of weight and a lot of kind of, truth into all the allegations that we've heard of in prior. The allegations that Cassie put into the original lawsuit where it was settled out of court in less than 24 hours. Personally, for me, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting the feeling that a bunch of people online didn't believe the Diddy allegations until the video of Cassie getting beat up came out. And I don't know why. There was stories of him in the lawsuit. I think there's a story of him blowing up Kid Cudi's car. There's that rumored story of him hanging YLEE from his ankles outside some hotel balcony. There's a story of him slapping up Drake, chasing Suge Knight around LA, and just being a menace the entire time. So I didn't really realize that people didn't believe the allegations until they saw the video. I was like, what? Of course that's true. Because Kid Diddy's a fucking psycho. Anyway, the video comes out. Everyone now believes it. And now the whole story, the whole kind of conversations around, you know, abusers and who hides them and all this malarkey turning a blind eye. Anyway, another conversation. Now that Diddy's come out again and apologized, everyone's also having a conversation around that, right? And the conversation around Diddy apologizing was around the video that he did and where he was. Because the background looked like he was somewhere tropical. People were like, oh my God, the joke was he's somewhere in Bali with Russell Simmons. Because Russell Simmons was also accused of, an insane amount of abuses and shit, sexual stuff. And allegedly the story is he ran away to Bali. I'm not too sure how true that is though. I'm not going to lie. I'm not too sure how true it is that Russell ran away to Bali. Because I don't know if that means, I'm not too sure if you commit, you know, sexual assault or rape or something, they just run to Bali and not get extradited. I'm not too sure if it works that way. Anyway, regardless, Russell Simmons been in and out. I think he came to America recently, but he's in Bali doing some fucking shit he's doing. And Diddy recorded a video where it looked like he might be in Bali too with the background. But obviously, if you look at the video closely, you could tell the roof that the place that he's in, the roof isn't the same as the picture people were comparing to Bali. It's not the same place, but it's just a gag, it's a joke, it's a troll. For some reason, YESJULZ, right, the influencer, the record, the music marketing genius, the person that was, working with Yeezy for a period of time, she decided to jump on a timeline and clarify what's actually going on and where Diddy actually is. But in the process, she baited herself up. Like, have you seen a better own goal than this? She says, it's crazy how dense and gullible people are. Everyone in the industry knows this is his Miami crib. Stop reaching. And it's like, sister, it doesn't really matter where like that wasn't part of the discussion, but you've also exposed yourself because now what? So you've been to the freak-offs, you've been to one of many of Diddy's cribs, and now you can identify from just a video, from just a picture, a video of him sitting down, which crib it is from the fucking roof. You can spot it straight away. You remember it that well. How many times were you there? When were you there last? What did you see when you were there? Like, YESJULZ has just gone and completely exposed herself for nothing. Like, just because she wanted to act like a smart ass and basically, you know, clear up any misinformation because there's too much fake news on the internet. This is one of those moments where you just need to just shut up. You need to just be quiet. Like, no one really cares where that place is. The conversation is still going on about what happened, and you're just making yourself look guilty when you're probably not. Because I don't think she, you know, did anything crazy with the guy. I wouldn't imagine. But it does open up a lot of questions. It does open you up to a lot of questions. Like, why the fuck were you? Do you know where he was? How could you tell? Like, you know, how many times have you been there? What did you see there last? Like, it's just a bizarre thing. And it almost makes you wonder. This is a bit of a stretch. But it makes me wonder. This is kind of similar to the Brendan thing in a way of like, what is it with people who don't know how to stay in their lane? And why do I say that, stay in their lane? YESJULZ is well known for being a very attractive woman who uses her beauty and her looks to also push all the stuff she does outside of her beauty and her looks on social, right? She posts all these pictures of herself having a good time, looking like a baddie on the timeline, right? You got bikini shots here. You got her having a good time somewhere in the holiday, looking like an Oscar or something, all glistening and shit, having a good time, batty out, tits out, wine out, yeah, having a blast. I've always wondered, why don't people that look like this just shut up and just enjoy all the riches and the glory that you get from just looking the way you do? Like, why can't people just stay in their lanes? And I wonder if this is a part of like the pretty privilege, in the same way of the Rogan, again, follow me here, in the same way as a Rogan privilege. So maybe with Brendan got introduced or got given an opportunity to make it by Joe Rogan. Maybe the reason why Brendan fucked up is because he wanted to prove to himself and to everybody else that he could do it without Rogan. So he did all these other business ventures and shit, all these other hustles, all these other kind of things to prove that he got a chance by Rogan. He got given a chance by Rogan, but Rogan didn't make him. So maybe if you're YESJULZ and you get born like this, or you look like this, maybe you want to prove to everybody else that you're not just a body, you're not just a bimbo, you're not just a sex doll, you know, or fuck doll as they call them, right? You're not just a fucking baddie. You have more to you. So you want to be intelligent, you want to contribute to the conversation, you want to clarify, actually it's Diddy's Miami crib and it's not Bali. But in actuality, your strength comes from what you look like. And that's not a bad thing. You got blessed to look the way you do. Just shut the fuck up and enjoy the fucking money and enjoy the attention you get from looking the way you do. Isn't that better? I don't understand. I really don't get it. Like, why would you just jump into this Diddy shit and say this and get all that negative attention, all that negative heat, all the people laughing at you and thinking you're a dummy, when you could just be enjoying yourself, posting pictures of yourself looking the way you do on social media, advertising your Snapchat, and just having a fucking good life? Why not just do that? Why do you have to insert yourself and talk about Diddy do it? Like, I don't understand it. But I guess it's the curse of having everything handed to you on a plate. Maybe because she didn't have to work for her look. Yeah, maybe this makes sense. Maybe because she didn't have to work for her looks. It's something that you're born with. You obviously take it for granted. And if you're Brendan, if you get given a chance to make it by Rogan, you also take that for granted. So you don't actually value it. So then you want other things. You want more. That's not enough because it's just given to you. You didn't kind of earn it. It's almost like when you find money, you don't end up saving it. You usually just spend it straight away because it's not yours. So I wonder if that's the same thing in this regard. Either way, fucking wild. I loved it. Everyone was fucking destroying her in the timeline. And yeah, man, she was having a bit of a hard one. So thoughts and feelings go out to YESJULZ. Thoughts and feelings go out to YESJULZ. Moving on from that one, let's quickly talk about this one. So Joe Budden has been getting a bit of slack online because he posted podcast on the day that the Diddy stuff came out, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And on the podcast description, it said that they were going to talk about it, right? It says Diddy physically assaulting Cassie, as you can see there on the description of the pod, as somebody pointing out on the Joe Budden podcast Reddit. But then when you listen to the actual pod, they edited that section out. So they edited out 8 minutes of that discussion from the pod, but they forgot to edit out the description of where they said they talked about it. So everybody is going fucking crazy about it. Oh my God, Joe is refusing to talk about Diddy again. He's running cover for him. He's kind of, you know, basically, what you call it? He's empowering abusers and whatever it may be, right? It's just a lot of bad shit around Joe with Diddy, because throughout this entire period anyway, it's taken Joe a very, very long time to even say anything negative about Diddy and this whole Cassie thing. He really went out of his way not to comment on stuff. He would put certain episodes behind a paywall if it did concern Diddy. Just some really nasty, foul, wild, kind of cringy, kind of awful, distasteful things that you'd probably think, oh my God, this guy doesn't really look good when he's doing these type of things. But as a former Joe Budden fan and a former Joe Budden podcast listener, I think he's getting a little bit too much stick for this. Because I think at least he's being honest. And why do I say that? It's been well known that Joe is a well-documented abuser himself. He's been known to have done many things to ex-girlfriends, whatever, back in the day that you could deem to be abusive. Just recently, he had to settle out of court for some sexual harassment thing with a former podcast host who was under his network, who he allegedly got into some, you know, thing with, and she ended up suing him, and he ended up having to settle out of court with her, right? So he's been known to do this type of thing. Whether or not you think that was excessive or not, regardless, he's got a lot of shit on his jacket pertaining to sexual abuse, to sexual harassment or physical harassment, whatever it may be. So with that being said, and with Joe also being a friend of Diddy's, which is not really a friend, but for a short period of time, Joe had a couple of shows on the Revolt. He was obviously well known to Diddy at that time because he had a very popular podcast, and Diddy was trying to be his friend, even though the Diddy friendship thing is really fake, because Diddy only started being Joe's friend once Joe started making a name for himself as a podcaster. But when he was a musician, Diddy didn't care for him at all. But for some reason, Joe, again, black people and money, if you have money, people turn a blind eye. Because Diddy's got money and shit, suddenly Joe was Diddy's best friend, because the guy that has the money and is a billionaire suddenly started to look at his way. So he's been running cover for Diddy for a while. So I don't mind Joe refusing to comment on Diddy physically assaulting Cassie, because number one, he's an abuser himself, so he's got skeletons in his own closet that he doesn't want to be dug up again. Number two, he sees Diddy as a friend, so he doesn't want to comment on a friend doing something like that. Even if it's heinous, he'd rather not comment on it publicly. And then obviously number three, it's a bias, right? He's obviously biased because he's his friend. He's got his own shit in his own closet, so he's not going to say what we want him to say anyway. He's not going to say anything that will warm anyone's hearts. If anything, it's going to make you look at him differently. So why bring that negative attention onto yourself to say that sort of shit in public? And have people kind of rag you and dig up other stuff and remind people of stuff he did in the past. It's not necessary. And Joe's already got enough on his plate. He's already got enough controversies under his belt. He doesn't need all negative attention. But I find it hilarious. I find the karmic retribution funny that they spoke about on the pod. He took it out last minute, but then they forgot to edit the description. So now he's still getting stick for it. So even though he removed the segment from the show, he's still getting pushed back. He's still getting destroyed. He's still getting critique. He's still getting questioned about his response, even though people haven't heard his response, because they know the response would have been good. Because I think he mentioned that the response wouldn't have been good if we heard it, because it was them kind of taking the piss out of it and laughing and making a joke out Diddy running down the hallway in a towel. It wouldn't have sat well with people because they made a joke about it right in the moment. But he did decide to jump onto Twitter Spaces and speak to the fans and try to clarify, you know, what happened and what fucking occurred. And obviously this didn't help, but he did try to clean it up a little bit. And I love the fact that this person here called Caleb called out Joe, and listen to how Joe. This is part of the reason why I stopped listening to the Joe Budden podcast. Obviously, number one, because of how they ended with Rory or more. And partly as well to do with the whole, do you remember when Joe was on his whole like I'm for the creators Joe was on his whole like I'm for the creators thing. It was kind of like he was pushing in the line of like, oh, I got fucked over when I was a musician. So now that I'm a podcaster, I'm going to make sure to share all the codes, to be really open with what's going on in business, and to kind of do good business so that I can rewrite the rules and the narrative around record labels and whatever. It was that kind of idea. But in the end, Joe ended up fucking over his friends the same way labels would fuck him over, and ended up just being a bad friend, a bad leader. And it just kind of, to me, left a bad taste in my mouth. And since then, I've been listening to it again. Yes, call it a parasocial, call it losery, whatever, but I haven't listened to a single episode of the Joe Budden podcast ever since Rory and Moore got fired. I know it's fucking pathetic, I know it's fucking losery, I know I sound like a fucking bitch, but it is what it is. Anyway, one thing I used to also not like about Joe was when you like called him out on his shit. I think it's a narcissistic tendency. Like you called it out, you said, hey, you did this and this, and you called it out very clearly. He would never he'd never like respond to what you called him out on. He would just like giggle or like try and like speak around it by talking about something else. It's like no. Let's go back to what, you know what I mean, what I just said there. Respond to that, and nah. So you could never kind of back him into a corner. It's always like slipping out of it by like, you know, gaslighting, you know, victim blaming, like all this sort of like nonsense dodging he was doing. And it was fucking exhausting because it was like, oh, this is how he speaks to these 20-year-old Hispanic women, isn't it? When he plays out mind games with them. Anyway, listen to Joe Budden try to explain why he edited out that section talking about Cassie on his podcast.
On a serious note, though, like you don't see how your silence on this topic is a large part of the reason why abuse continues to take place from people of power religiously, because it's like people who have these relationships, people who actually know what's going on, they are afraid to actually speak on it because of that. Like you don't see that being a real thing.
I see that's a real thing. What does that have to do with me?
It has everything to do with you. You
Why?
you have the one of the largest platforms, period. Not just hip hop, but one of the largest platforms, period. But specifically when it comes to hip hop, and then you have Diddy, who's made his name there, and your voice, the loudest voice in hip hop, is just silent on it, and it's been silent. And I can see if this was a one-time thing, but anytime something with Diddy has come up, there's always been some excuse. It's like, oh no, we got to paywall this. Oh no, we gotta wait till all the evidence comes out. Oh no, we can't do. And it's always something, exactly. One thing after another, where it's like you treat him like the boogeyman.
Exactly.
And I'm waiting for the Joe I know to find his courage to speak on it, because I saw how you addressed the Duce Palooza conversation years ago.
Exactly.
Strong message. All right. You niggas is nuts.
He just laughs at that. Like, no, address what I said. Address the comments, address my criticism. You niggas are just nuts. Honestly, he's so fucking infuriating.
Who else we got? Come on, somebody say something.
Who else we got?
Yo, do you guys ever...
Who else we got? He just moves on. What else you got? What else you got, Jin?
Just think that everything is not this deep conspiracy that y'all want it to be. Like, we were dead in the middle of our broadcast yesterday. Come on, I'll put the suspense to bed. We were in the middle of our show when that news broke. So we spoke about it for 4 minutes, and then at the end, before sleepers, we spoke about it for another 4 minutes, and then we went on about our day. And I went outside with Amani last night, and he said to me, hey man, I think y'all should readdress the Puff shit because y'all gonna get killed. And I said, why? The story was breaking. We addressed it. He said, yeah, but it wasn't the address. It wasn't the address that is appropriate.
So if you're not understanding what he's saying, Joe Budden's basically trying to say they've deleted it because it happened in a moment. So while they're recording, the video of Diddy beating up Cassie in a hotel leaked, and then they started commenting it on at the moment. So they didn't give it enough time to really have a nuanced opinion about it. It's like, shut up. They've spoken on stuff that's broken in the moment while they're recording all the time. He just chooses to move the goalposts now and say, oh, I couldn't speak about it on the moment because I had to like, what's that shit? Whatever, man. Whatever.
For what happened. I said, why you say that? We did what we needed to do. He said, yeah, but I know y'all audience, and it was breaking in the moment. They wait from y'all. So I took it out. I took it out because it was insensitive for the moment. It was talking for 4 minutes about what happened, and then 3 minutes at the end is not the attention that the story needs, and it ain't the commentary that it needs. So I don't need to be the first one to run to something. We're going to get to it on Wednesday. But what do that have to do with the way y'all are speaking in this moment? Why do y'all think, after seeing a video like that somebody is running from a topic? Like I done told y'all the last time, I have absolutely zero ties with Diddy or anybody Diddy related outside of seeing his kids when I'm outside.
Anyway, you get the gist. You know, gaslighting king. But again, it's just funny. It's just really funny in a way, to be fair, to see this play out the way it's playing out. Because now every time something happens to Diddy and Joe doesn't comment on it, he thinks he's doing the right thing by not commenting on it. But him not commenting on it, commentating on it, or commenting on it actually adds more fuel to the fire and makes one people look at him differently and then start to investigate the things that he did. So actually he'd be much better off if he just commented it anyway and just got out of the way. But he thinks he's being clever by not saying it or doing it behind a paywall. It's like, bruh, people are gonna call you out on your shit regardless. It just is what it is. It's part of that's part of the price you pay for being an abuser. When you have abused women in the past, I feel like as a guy, and again, maybe it's hard for the women to hear this because sometimes the person that does this to you doesn't get punished, but something you could probably hold as a comfort is, or something that you can know in comfort is that, or something that could comfort you in the sense of like what you've been abused out, is that it never leaves the guy. So even if the guy doesn't end up getting criminal charges or lose everything, that thing that happened to you that they did never leaves them. So this thing that Joe did allegedly to somebody, some ex, I forgot who the girl was, who he sat on her stomach and Mike gave her a miscarriage or something, I don't know, some crazy shit. He's got some crazy shit on his background. But it's wild to see that regardless of how much money Joe Budden's made over the years, how successful he's been, how much time has passed, every time an abusive thing happens in hip-hop, whether a guy abusing a woman, and he comments on it, his history gets brought up again. So that must be quite satisfying for the women in some regard, because you get to see him squirm. You get to see him be all like nervous, know how to react, because every single time somebody gets abused and he comments on it or tries to act holier than thou or tries to dismiss it or tries to ignore it, his name gets put through the fucking ringer again. And again, it's different because Joe's obviously a bit of a narcissist and a bit of an attention seeker in the Burt kind of way. So there's definitely a part of Joe Budden just enjoys any kind of attention, even if it's negative. But it does eat away at his soul. You would imagine every time an abusive relationship thing comes up, you get mentioned, you get mentioned, you get mentioned. That's the curse of abusing. So that's why if you're a dude out there, most of the times, if you're a dude out there in general, you know, that's why you shouldn't abuse people, because it's not good. Number one, it's not right. Don't abuse women in the first place. But number two, if you're not guilty, or if you are guilty, it's never going to leave you. It's always going to be a cloud that kind of travels above your head, you know? But yeah, that was a mad one. Mad situation regardless. Mad situation regardless. So let's move on to that one. Let's play some other clips and bobs that we need to fucking check here before we continue. Of course, if you're liking the stream, you see what you like, please make sure you smash the like button down below. That would be greatly appreciated. Please make sure you smash the like button down below if you're enjoying the show. Let's talk about this quickly. Have you guys seen this? Have you guys seen this? This update is fucking amazing. So, as you guys know, a few months ago, DEJON Paul basically left No Jumper without really announcing he left. No Jumper didn't really clarify that he left, but he left in a bit of a cloud. And this is the story goes something like he was at No Jumper for something, and maybe the security guard that was there at No Jumper, maybe somebody else's security guard, something happened in that building where a gun went off, and allegedly the bullet hit DEJON Paul, and DEJON ran out of the building screaming, and he was injured. He had to go to hospital. He posted a picture of himself holding crutches. He was away from the channel for a long time, and no one really spoke about it. And the assumption was anyway, or the story out there, the gossip was that he had been shot by mistake by a guard, and that he was going through to try to sue No Jumper, and that No Jumper were going through some sort of lawsuit, which is why Adam didn't talk about it and why no one connected with No Jumper spoke about it. That was the story. Well, it then transpired a few weeks or days after that initial story that story was all bogus, and I think YESJULZ exposed it, or somebody, that allegedly that gun did go off, but DEJON Paul in a very smart, scammy way, in that moment, pretended like the bullet hit him, pulled his trousers down and started jumping up and down, screaming in pain and saying it's burning, ran out the building and then tried to sue No Jumper. But then when they had to go through, you know, checking if he actually had any wounds, they quickly realized he didn't, and they found out he was lying, and then the whole potential lawsuit went away. But by that time, because he lied and tried to fuck over his employer, they obviously said, don't fucking come back. So that's basically what happened, right? But no one's actually clarified it either. So, all that's to say, Adam 22 recently sat down on this guy called MUNCHIE podcast, and the podcast is called Rich at Heart, and they sat down and spoke, and he asked Adam 22 from No Jumper directly, what the fuck happened with DEJON Paul? And Adam 22 had a very interesting reply regarding the whole thing, which has now created a whole nother bit of drama, and now DEJON Paul's replying back to it, and now we're gonna have this whole other arc happening. So No Jumper, there's always something going on over there. It's never anything good. It's always some drama involving the fucking cast and the host and stuff. It's never them giving their really interesting, opinionated hot takes on current cultural topics. It's never them having interesting conversations. It's always fucking beef or some conflict between each other. And this is another episode of it. So let's hear how Adam 22 explains DEJON Paul's absence. Big up Assad.
DEJON just got diabetes. Leg amputation ting.
Oh, imagine if that's true. Imagine if DEJON actually got imagine if that's true. By the way, shout out to the Americans. Shout out to Black Americans. Shout out to African Americans who call their fat kids DEJON like that. Like, imagine having a kid and you name it after a fucking condiment. Like, that's fucking cruel, isn't it? Like, imagine. Like, it's like naming your kid ketchup or burger sauce or some shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, only an American could name their kid who's fat DEJON after the fucking mustard. Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's hear MUNCHIE ask Adam 22 about DEJON Paul shooting. Big up Assad. Appreciate you, brother.
I'm just gonna piggyback off YESJULZ said. YESJULZ said the Blicky went off. DEJON Paul started jumping up and down. He pulled his pants down and ran out, and then he just said he was shot. You don't want to elaborate, though? You ain't got to, but
you know, I saw a clip of like a girl that's like related to him on Pun Stream, and like they were all talking about that. They were saying like DEJON got shot at No Jumper, and she said, "The fuck? Like I'm like best friends with his mom or some shit." Like she's like, "That's not true. If that was true, I would have heard about it." And that's what I'm saying. Like if somebody got shot in my office, I feel like I would know about it.
After I heard that shit from out of whack, I called Flacco. I'm like, Flacco, what happened? Right. Okay. The gun went off, and you know he put his pants down. It looked like a rash. I said a rash. I said, you know, with a gunshot, did he get grazed? You know, with a gunshot, what it look like? Like a rash. Man, you know, Flacco could almost be a comedian though. People don't know that.
He might have just had a rash. I don't know. But nobody got shot at.
Did he put down his pants?
Not that I saw.
He wanted to be
I
a
feel
part.
like that is entirely made up.
Okay, Wack was being putting extras.
I think Wack is just having fun with it. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you trying to audition for Plug Talk.
Nah, I don't know.
He can't be a part. No Plug Talk.
I don't think that he would be interested in that, but I don't know.
The nigga that you did the April Fool's shit with, he'd do a scene with the nigga DEJON Paul.
Yeah, he should be so lucky.
Oh, weak, man. No, I just had to get that out the way. I didn't know if you wanted to elaborate on that.
No, that shit all cap. I don't know.
I wanted to ask you.
So Adam 22 said that shit all cap. He's been very coy. And again, I don't really understand. The only thing that's dubious about this whole thing for me, why is everyone being so shy to call out, or he's being so coy about the whole situation if it is cap? Because I'm assuming they've got cameras at No Jumper HQ. If this shooting didn't occur, if the security guard says he didn't do something, if there's, you know, ballistics and police reports done and the insurance claim guys or lawyers, big up.
I want you to learn who Munchie B is. V serious man.
Oh yeah. I'll do my Googles. I need to. Yeah, I know. I know. I've got some surface level knowledge, but yeah, we'll talk about him probably another time or another stream, probably more in detail. But it's actually interesting that he's the one to speak about this topic in the first place as well. But we'll talk about that anyway another time. But big up Assad. I want to know why everyone's acting so coy about it. If he did actually lie, why is everybody else that isn't Adam? Because everyone else has blown it up. Wack 100 has basically called out DEJON for being a liar. I think I heard DW Flame sort of like insinuate what happened one time, right? And he kind of made it seem like it was a lie too. I think who else I hear say it? I think I might have heard Sharp say it. So everyone else except for Adam is willing to call out DEJON for his scheme. But Adam doesn't want to say anything. He's acting kind of coy. He's obviously denying it, but he's acting kind of like, I don't want to really talk about it too much. And this is Adam, a guy that loves the drama. He courts the drama. He stokes the drama. He creates the drama. And he's willing, or he acts very apprehensive about it. He's very hesitant to speak about it in detail. So that's the first thing that makes me think, I wonder what's actually going on. Well, so Adam 22 said that on the Munchie B podcast. So then DEJON Paul jumps onto his Instagram and posts this. Look what DEJON Paul posts. DEJON Paul, the caption reads, when I'm ready to talk about the gun shooting incident that took place on March 25th at No Jumper office, I will. I do want to thank everybody who reached out with well wishes and prayers during the past month or so. And as you can see in the comments, all the messy boys, right? All the petty boys come out to play. King T-Rail, obviously T-Rail, who's a former host of No Jumper, who fell out badly with Adam 22. You got AD there also, Ace Boy Pun, who's AD's manager, who also fell out with Adam 22 and has, a fucking long-standing beef with Adam 22. They're all putting their fucking emojis on the comments there in support of DEJON, but mostly to be petty. So the screenshots. Here's the screenshots of what DEJON posted in response to what Adam 22 said. A text message to Adam. Adam texted DEJON Paul and says the following. Hey dude, I'm really sorry about this. I was kind of in shock earlier and I didn't know what to say. Just know we're on your side in thinking this was super fucked up, obviously, and we're trying to do everything by the book and make sure you're good and shit. DEJON replies to Adam 22 in a text. I appreciate it. I know it's all an accident. I just want to get checked out and make sure everything's okay. Crazy day at the office. Adam replies back and says, insane. Let's keep it off the podcast and shit. I don't want people to feel scared. I like how Adam 22 immediately after pretending to act concerned says straight to business. Hey, don't talk about it on the podcast. He texts him back the next day. How you feeling? DEJON. Top of the morning. My leg is still sore and tender in that area. Overall, I'm still in shock about what happened yesterday. I'm upset about having to miss the Monday show because I read the comments. Okay. I read the comments and they're like, DEJON missing, how it hurt the show. I just don't understand why he had his gun out around all of us. He ruined the whole day. I had some important stuff to say on the show too. So DEJON is not even that mad that he got shot. He's mad he didn't have a chance to speak about fucking what? Quavo versus Chris Brown on the No Jumper news. This guy might be a bit of a bozo, innit? If this shooting allegedly happened, this guy seems to be more worried and more concerned that he didn't get a chance to speak about what Game said or what Soulja Boy did or what fucking NBA Youngboy is up to now. Like, is that what you're concerned about? Getting your fucking opinions and shitty hip-hop hot takes off on fucking No Jumper News in the midst of you getting shot, allegedly. Adam 22 replies to him, yeah, man, the show was a bummer. I saw a lot of that in the chat and I'm still so blown away. He was always responsible for the last 2 years and then that had to fuck it up with that dumb shit. So something happened. Adam is acting like it didn't happen. So I guess maybe the point of contention is, did the bullet hit DEJON? But it sounds like a shooting did happen. Adam 22 basically is confirming it. He's saying the guy was good for 2 years and then now he fucked up. So he's kind of confirming the shooting did happen. Now it's skeptical whether or not it hit DEJON or hit somebody else, but something did happen. Either way, what an absolute nonsense of a situation. Well, final update on that. Adam22 then jumps on his Instagram and says on his story, LOL at posting screenshots of text messages before we found out you made up the whole thing. So what part did DEJON Paul make up? The fact that he got shot or the fact that the shooting never happened in the first place? Who knows? But I am really curious to see or to notice that this whole entire platform, this whole channel that almost basks and revels and literally encourages drama and conflict between their hosts and sometimes creates fake drama. In that the other day with Whack 100 allegedly trying to charge at fucking Flacco, this station, this platform that has turned itself into, you know, the real fucking hip-hop husbands of LA. It's been fucking awful. That's why I don't watch it anymore. This platform is now deciding to kind of be a bit coy and not really talk about what happened. Something's a bit fishy. So my guess is that the shooting did happen, but DEJON just lied about it and he didn't get shot. But it's quite a funny play. It's a smart play in the moment. You have to give the guy credit. In the moment when it happened, he jumped into action, no pun intended, and he immediately tried to pretend like he got shot to get a quick payday and sue them and stuff and maybe settle out of court. Right? It's quite a funny play to do that in the instance it happened, like quickly just jump into action and be like, oh my god, can you imagine his fucking voice screaming, jumping up and down? That'd have been fucking hilarious. But regardless, another day at No Jumper. There's never not drama over there. DEJON has, I think, officially removed No Jumper from his bio, right? Yeah, no more No Jumper from his bio. It just says the rap critic. You've got his shitty report card there, which I don't understand. I also never understood why the report card is like this weird stained yellow color. I'm assuming he wants to make it look vintage, but what report cards in school like on like nice crisp white card like paper? That's what they were on, no? I don't know if it's different in America, but usually report cards from school were on a bit of nice stock card, like a bit thick, but it was never yellow. It was never dyed like this, unless it means it's a report card that you had in your, you know, in your belongings from years ago. I don't know. It's a strange way. A stained report card thing is fucking bizarre. Also, grading rappers like they're fucking children is kind of odd anyway, right? Like, why are you infantilizing grown men and women? Like, very, very bizarre. Anyway, either way, DEJON Paul got allegedly shot, didn't really get shot, and he's now trying to extort No Jumper, which is fucking brilliant, really, isn't it? It's fucking brilliant that this guy is actually trying to extort them. And so far, it hasn't worked. Even though they're a diabolical, you know, organization and I run a bit shit, they know better to just, you know, pay this guy out when it didn't really happen. Let's check his Instagram stories. What's he got on here? Anything else that happened? Nope. Oh, we see the text messages posted there and nothing else. Okay, cool. We have to wait and see what happens and how this develops, but that's the update regarding DEJON and No Jumper and Adam22 and this alleged shooting that did or didn't happen. Cool. Moving on. How about this? Have you guys seen this? I'm sure you have seen this. I'm sure you have. So as you guys know, Alexander Usyk v Tyson Fury was the other day, or Tyson Fury v Alexander Usyk happened the other day, and Usyk won. He probably should have won by knockout because he had, you know, Tyson Fury wobbling on his feet for a long time. I don't know why the referee didn't stop it, but he didn't. Regardless, an impressive and very dominating performance from Alexander Usyk. Incredible. Congratulations to him. Well, our resident fighter-in-chief, our expert, our former UFC heavyweight, and, you know, just an all-round boxing insider and knowledge of, you know, and real savant when it comes to the combat sports in all walks and in all its shapes and sizes, predicted who would win between Usyk and Fury before the fight. And let's just say Brendan's prediction was very far off. Let's just say that. Very, very far off. But listen to Brendan Shaw's prediction before the fight on the SCHAUB'S show. Listen to what he says about what he thought would happen. Listen.
This Saturday, you have Tyson Fury versus Usyk. It's finally going down. I think you're going to get a lot of footwork from Tyson. Keeps Usyk at the end of his jab. And I do think he wins more rounds than loses. And he should be the winner by decision. Either way, I think this goes to decision, but it's going to be super controversial. And we're going to come back here on Monday, and you're going to say Usyk, you're going to say Fury. I'll side with Fury because I'm biased. And that's how this is going to go. It's going to be one for the ages because you have the two very best, the most talented out there. There's nobody more talented than these two gentlemen, but stylistically, it doesn't make for a rock'em sock'em robot fight or knockdowns or knockouts like you guys like out there, especially the casuals. But if you enjoy the sweet science, this is for you.
Brendan is out here insulting the casuals and kind of diminishing their, you know, kind of dismissing them in general by saying, oh, if you know, you guys casuals only like, you're only entertained by boxing if it's like knockdowns. You don't really understand boxing if no one gets knocked down. But then he has the most casual opinion ever about the fight itself. Horrible fucking knowledge, horrible insight, and completely incorrect prediction on the fight. And I find it interesting with this prediction. I guess he's doing this to appear more intelligent and to appear more knowledgeable. He's basically giving these really detailed. He's trying to basically predict what's happening in very minute detail. Oh, it's going to be like this, it's going to be like that. He's not just saying who won or who's not going to win, who's going to lose, because he wants to appear like he wants to give the impression that he's actually watched tape. He's actually watched previous fights. He's kept an eye on some of the training footage. He's listened to interviews. He wants to appear like that. So that's why he's giving his detailed opinion. But I don't think he's giving them with any kind of, there's no like, you know, background or research that goes into this. It's just him shooting from the hip, and it's completely wrong, right? So that's one prediction that was horrendously bad, right? Horrendously bad prediction. And then we have another one as well that I want to play for you. Bear with me a second here. The other prediction was the one that he did on the Fire and the Kid. This is the one. Whoops, I don't know what sounds up there.
No one's talking about it?
Yeah, it's weird.
Hold on, B. Usyk Fury? When I talk about no one's talking about it?
Yeah, it's weird.
There's, because remember when it first got announced and then Fury got that cut and they postponed it? Dude, I don't see it in.
Why is that?
It has to be an American thing.
So Brendan, because no one's talking about the USYK, because no one was talking about Fury versus USYK on his timeline, on his feed, on his algo, he also assumed that no one's talking about it. But I think most likely what happened, he wasn't feeling enthusiastic about the fight. He didn't like the matchup. He didn't like the build up. He just didn't like the fight overall. So he's projecting his own feelings onto other people, but that's not the case. I saw a ton of people talk about the fight, really excited about what's going to happen, who's going to win, how it's going to go down, what it'll mean for the winner, what it'll mean for the loser. I saw a ton of people discussing it. But Brendan, in his infinite knowledge or his infinite wisdom, no one's talking about this fight. It's so, didn't get marketed well. No one's talking about it. What do you mean no one's talking about it? Everyone was talking about it on my timeline. I couldn't escape it for the past couple of days.
It's like, because like BT Sports has all this cool coverage on it. Ariel's doing a bunch of stuff on it, but it's all for BT Sports and all that stuff. But when it comes to America, you just don't see anything, dude.
Yeah.
Here's a quick video on them real quick.
Like, I have a bunch of people, when I posted my take on it from the Shop Show, people are like, dude, I had no idea that's happened this weekend. Like, that's not good.
Mm. All right, here's a quick video of them meeting each other in Riyadh.
Alexander Usyk, I choose you. Get over here. Come on. Come on. Give me a hug, brother. I'll give you a hug.
Oh, Usyk ain't having it.
So he's playing along there, but I mean, as a fitter, what Tyson's
I don't
doing,
like that stuff. For certain fighters that do this, I know a fighter that do this to try and lower your guard, so you
So he's being super charming.
Yeah, but that's Tyson. Like, he does that with he did that with Wilder too.
Those guys are all kind of like, they don't know really what to make of this.
Yeah.
Usyk was like, okay.
You know, in Russian and Ukrainian culture, smiling, just smiling, is not done.
Really? How do you know that, Brian? Spent any time in Ukraine? Spent enough time in Russia? Have any Russian friends? Or you just going by what you see on social media? You fucking old shit.
Because you look stupid. So you don't just smile. You're going to be like, thank you.
Yeah, I heard if you smile in Russia, they think you're gay.
Well, they just think the idea in Russian culture is when you smile, you're a dumbit, you're a dullard. So if you're like this, hi, how are you?
That makes sense.
That's why when you meet them, they're like this.
Straight face.
All right.
Yeah, Usyk was not having it.
Yeah. Smiling is just considered really like for dum-dums. You rarely see Putin smile. Rarely.
But do you see anything on Usyk Fury Chin? Like any hype?
No, not at all.
Like there's no hashtag like trending, nothing. I tried looking for
It's
I'm like,
really
That's
weird.
the only video I saw recently, so yeah, not much at all. But I saw something brand new that popped.
So Brendan obviously thought no one was talking about the fight. Clearly, he was greatly he's just basically incorrect, right? He was definitely incorrect. Everyone was talking about the fight, especially after the fight and the result that happened. But it just goes to show just how unknowledgeable he is about the sport. I find that to be the most fascinating thing about Brendan. I find Brendan to be the kind of person who's put more credence to the idea that it doesn't matter if you play the sport or if you competed in the sport. It doesn't mean that you know what you're talking about. Because that happens a lot in media or in online in general. People will say, because you never played, you never done the sport, that you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, it's actually the opposite. You actually find that people that play it or have practiced it themselves don't know how to articulate their thoughts, because sometimes, especially if they're gifted, they just did the thing. They didn't ever break it down. They just did it because they know how to play football. They know how to bounce a ball, hit a fucking baseball. They've never really had to speak about it at length like us normies have to, because we don't play it at a good level and we're obviously approaching it as a fan. But I think in Brendan's case, he just lacks real curiosity and interest. It's not even like he just lacks any kind of ability to be introspective, an ability to kind of sit with his thoughts, and like it never happens. And the reason why I say that is because very rarely does he actually have good analysis. And the only time he actually did have good analysis was when he did the fight coverage for the Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather fight. That was the only time he came across really well, because he's a big Conor McGregor nut hugger, and he was covering it for Showtime, and he was the only person that was really saying that Conor had a chance of beating Floyd, and he was selling it pretty well. I remember watching the coverage. He was really trying to break it down and talk about the stances and the fight power and the fucking, the hooks and the different way people strike in the MMA versus boxing. Like, he was really, again, it was dumb. It was the wrong opinion, because obviously the result was the result, but he actually did sound like he was thinking about what he was saying. He clearly sounded like he watched a bit of tape on Conor, and he watched previous fights of Floyd Mayweather, and maybe spotted people that he kind of struggled with, especially if they were southpaw. Big up.
Baba isn't just wrong. We all predict fights wrong. He truly doesn't understand boxing. Saying Usyk Fury would lack action when in boxing, it's no Usyk having to pressure Tyson, who throws from range.
Exactly. That's thank you, Assad. You broke it down clearly and more succinctly than I could ever when I was waffling there. Everyone predicts. We all predict different. We all predict wrong. We all make horrible predictions. Brendan's problem is that he just doesn't understand anything. And that's what I'm trying to get at with this point, is that it seems like he doesn't understand anything of what he's talking about. And I think it's not because he doesn't understand. I think it's because he's being lazy. Because like I said, there was a time where he did break down fights well, and that was that one occasion when he did it with Conor. So it's evidence that he can do it. If you can do it once, you can do it twice, you can do it thrice, you can do it more times. So the fact that he did it once is proof that he can do it, but he chooses not to. He thinks he's good enough to shoot from the hip and just like freestyle. He's not that knowledgeable, unfortunately. Other people are that are way more balls deep in the sport, who give a shit, who are passionate, who are interested, who are curious, could probably, you could ask them in a coffee shop, hey, what do you think about this fight? And they could break it down for you for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes. Brendan probably does need to sit with his thoughts, think of what he wants to say, what kind of, does he want to be a contrarian? Does he want to kind of go with the, with the fucking, with the collective narrative that exists out there, whatever it may be. But it's just his inability to really analyze at all that's really interesting to me. Like, just because the Usyk thing again. I don't watch much boxing, but the boxing that I've seen of Usyk, he's kind of all action. He has these spurts where he kind of rallies, but he does throw his hands and let his hands go quite often. Fury's also known to let his hands go quite often. Fury's also known to get caught quite often. We've seen him get caught quite often. So if that's the case, and Usyk is smaller and Fury is taller, and Usyk has to come in on the inside to get a lot of the shots off because of Tyson Fury's range, wouldn't that mean it's going to be a very close and competitive fight, really? Because one's going to be trying to keep one at range, one's going to have to get closer to get punches off, which is then going to mean they're going to keep clashing. They're not going to be standing at range with it like two tall guys. So you're going to get a fun fight. So why would you then predict it be a boring fight? Like, how does that make any sense? Yes, you can predict Tyson's going to win because Tyson's the champion, whatever. He's got, you know, he's probably more well known. He has some impressive performances out there. People remember. Cool. People like his style. But to act as if the fight is going to be boring doesn't make any sense. Even from a casual point, like again, I'm a boxing casual. And even I knew, hold on, Usyk is shorter than him, right? Tyson's taller. He's got to come, like, he's going to have to do the same thing he did to Joshua and come on the inside and not keep that, like, what? How does that make any sense about I don't understand this. So he did that. So I decided to actually make a clip about it. It's already on my channel. So this is probably the one and only time I'm going to fucking watch a video on my fucking channel. But I did make a little highlight clip about it because he did say something extra on the Fighter and the Kid that I decided to pull and make a little reel, or not real, but a little, you know, a little clip about the situation. I thought it was fucking hilarious. Bear with me as it loads. There we go, here 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 we go.
Again, as far as heavyweights go, yeah, the best. As far as their skill goes, those are the two best. Also, Usyk isn't a natural heavyweight. No. He's a cruiserweight. Correct. Competing at heavyweight, and he's fighting a guy who's 6'8" to 6'9", and he's going to come in about 267 pounds. So he's going to have 47-pound advantage on minimum.
Yikes. That's
an issue. And also, it's not that you're just fighting the bigger guy. The bigger guy can fucking box. And he has no weaknesses.
Yeah.
He can fight off his back foot. He can counterpunch. He can jab. He can pressure. He has knockout power at that size. Has great head movement. Usyk has the best head movement. That being said, when you look at this fight, it goes to decision. It's not going to be that exciting. If you do have an eye for boxing, you're going to love it because it's a chess match. But if you're just a casual and you want like exciting fights and rounds, this ain't it.
Oh, really, dude? And these guys are not letting us stand. Fury's in trouble. The big fella, the Gypsy King, is rattled. He's stumbling. He's all over the place. Do you believe it? Do you believe it? He's going. He's going. The referee might stop it. Whoa! Fury, he's done. He won it with the knockdown. 6 rounds apiece, and he's won it with the knockdown. Those two cards were closer than how we had it. We were more in line with Manuel Palomo. What an achievement by Alexander Usyk.
So that's my little video compilation that I put together. Obviously taking the piss a little bit out of what Brendan was saying and how he spoke about Usyk and the fight itself. But listening to Usyk speak after the fight was really eye-opening because it was such a different contrast to what we could. Again, maybe because I spend too much time listening to fucking Redax and Lol Cows, especially BAPA and DSP and Wings, all this sort of stuff. You forget like what greatness looks like. And he said something really interesting after the fight in the post-match conference, right, interview. He was like, he's missed out on like 9 months to like a year of like family and just life. Children's birthdays, like family holidays, like loads of shit, because he's been locked in for this fight. And it made me think, oh yeah, I forgot that used to be a thing. People being in camp and literally abstaining from everything. Because I know some fighters are different. Some fighters have like superstitions where they believe that they should be completely committed to camp. They should be really, really, really committed to like dieting and working out and going for 5 a.m. runs every single day, hitting the pad spot, like everything that needs to be done, focusing on tape until the day of the fight. Not take a single day off. If they do, it's like a bad omen for the fucking fight itself. And I love that for some fighters, but you don't really hear that too often because I think people take the foot of the pedal a little bit from time to time because like, look, I'm well trained, I've already fought before, I know what I'm doing, so you don't really go all the way through. So I was happy to hear him say what he said at the end of the fight in the post-match conference, because it was like, nah, when you want to hit that real undisputed level greatness, when you want to be the best of the best, that's what you do. And obviously I think it kind of showed with what we saw over there in the fucking ring. And if you see people as well online, loads of boxing heads who actually got knowledge were saying, yeah, they always knew Usyk would be a beast because his mindset, his mentality is just different gravy type of thing. So he was always going to achieve that kind of success, especially given the current roster of people who are kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, whereas he is like all full in. He's like both feet into boxing only, and that's basically it, which kind of explains why he kind of got to where he got to. But that being said, I also think we don't need to take the fucking pressure off of Brendan. Because I don't think there's anyone else. I don't think there's ever been an athlete in my entire life that I've seen, even when they've retired, who lacks in so much insight and introspection and knowledge when it comes to sport as Brendan. It doesn't make any sense, innit? It really doesn't make it. I think I've seen even athletes who haven't made it. An athlete who got I don't know. I see it a lot with football. You see a footballer who maybe, used to play for Arsenal when they were like 10 years old, and now they're 40, but they still have a lot of good insights about football, about how clubs spot talent, about what it takes to become a professional, about tactics. They've got a lot of insight. Brendan's the only ex-athlete, professional athlete that I've seen or heard of in my life who legitimately sounds dumber than a casual. And casuals usually is a derogatory term because it's meant to describe somebody who just has a casual knowledge of a topic, who kind of watches only the big fights, who maybe is on their phone a bit at the time, who maybe just goes by highlights, but at least they're watching the stuff. Brendan, I would hazard a guess, and this is me just throwing shit out there, but I have a feeling he doesn't even watch fights. I have a feeling this guy just watched the highlights or goes on Reddit and sees what happened. Imagines the fight card, he'll go on Reddit and just watch the fucking knockout or watch the decision. That's what I think. I don't even think he watches full fight cards. I swear to God. I don't think he watches full boxing cards. I don't think he watches full fight cards at all. Zero. Let alone all the fucking fight things, the interviews. I don't think he watches. He just watches the highlights he gets in social media, because it's impossible how this guy could be a former UFC heavyweight, have fought himself. And the thing that makes it even worse is that Brendan came into fighting or combat sports quite late in life, like mid-20s. He got into the UFC, all right? So you'd imagine, because he had to fight later in life, it's harder to do that. You have a bit more knowledge, a bit more insight, because you had to learn the basics at like a later age. You had to kind of teach yourself how to fight. So usually people like that are a little bit more understanding about the mechanics and what goes into it. You kind of know more than somebody that was born with I don't think Wilder could probably, I would assume Wilder probably isn't the best analyst in the world in boxing, because he was just born with power. He's never really been a boxer in that regard. So he probably can't break down fights as good as somebody that's a real technician that had to kind of, by hook or crook build themselves up into being an elite boxer. Well, and I thought you'd think the same thing would happen to Brendan, because he was never that talented and had to kind of, you know, figure it out in his mid-20s. He'd be a little bit more knowledgeable, but he's not. He's a legit dummy when it comes to sports, and it's fascinating, legitimately fascinating. I find it one of the most overlooked things about him.
Usyk was fighting in the war. Usyk was sitting around after his fight with stitches in his brow, cheering on his fellow Ukrainian.
Exactly. Yeah, he's just different gravy. Like, I don't know. I find the guy fascinating. I find this part of the arc, or part of the personality of Brendan, one of the most interesting parts for me, because again, for the longest time, he was making money. Showtime was paying this guy a salary. Showtime was paying this guy a salary to break down fights, and he doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Literally has no idea what the fuck he's talking about, and Showtime were paying him a handsome wage to do it. And I'm fascinated by it. Honestly is one of the most fascinating things about it for me, that he was getting paid a nice fat monthly check by Showtime to break down fights. And he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Talking about breaking down fights. Look at this clip. Big up the Fight in the Kids subreddit. Brendan's additional fake interactions with Floyd Mayweather, including Floyd's dad. So this is Brendan back in Showtime days, right? Look at this. This is back in Showtime days. Back in the Showtime days on Sirius XM, sitting down with Luke Thomas, having a chinwag about Floyd's up-and-coming fight. I don't know what fight this was they were talking about, but look at how sharp Brendan looks. Got the makeup on, beard dye, hair dye, three-piece suit. Like, that looks tailored as well. It looks like a good tailored three-piece suit, big fat watch on, a brooch on the fucking lapel of the suit, looking like $100 million, right? Looking like $1 million, 100 million, looking like $1 million. Clearly, money's good, position's good, everything's gravy. Only Brendan, only Bapa, only B Schaub could have this situation and just piss it up a wall. Only him could piss up a wall.
When I was doing the Showtime broadcast today, Floyd Sr. sitting there going like this, nah, man, nah. I'm like, bro, chill. I'm actually making your son money. Like, I'm selling this fight. Yeah. Chill, man. Yeah. Like,
by the way, press X to doubt that even happened. Press X to doubt that even happened. And LOL at that being a defense for how you're talking about his son, by the way. I'm making him money. Like, what? But press X to doubt that even happened.
Listen, I just came from the fighter meeting, the talent meeting with Floyd, and I mean, he's adamant about it. And he goes, you can write this down. He's talking about his family, uncle. Dude. And then
yeah, exactly. Big up Run It Up 647. Yeah, he does look sharp. This is when Brendan was on just keto. He was actually working out. He was actually dieting correctly. He was like, do you know what I mean? He used to post workout videos on his Instagram all the time. You know, fucking ropes, deadlifts, push-ups, actually training like a ex-professional fighter did, just for the vanity of it, just for the fucking thrill of it. That's why he looked the way he does. But the moment he started to cut corners, TRT, HGH, creatine, Ozempic, he starts to look completely different. But look how he actually used to look when you actually used to look after himself. Fucking hell. Crazy how he's deteriorated over the years, man.
I go, the 8-ounce gloves is because you think, you know, it's going to add up over the rounds and beat up his face up. And he gets dead serious, takes his glass off, goes, and the all-access screws there, and he looks at me dead in the eye and goes, I guarantee you I stop him. Dude. I guarantee you I stop him. And I was like, all right, man. All right, bro. Chill. And then I was trying to lighten the room, and then Morrow goes, yeah, I'm like, I need to do something here, man. I feel like Showtime hates me right now. And Espinoza sitting to my right. You know who's my boss? Yeah. And
Espinoza was Brendan's boss. He could name drop him in conversations. Honestly, I think a lot of this is to do with Brendan not really, and this is kind of, you know, maybe inappropriate to say, or maybe out of order to say, because who am I to say who's fucking deserving? But I think ultimately he didn't really fuck up anything. I think the real crux of the situation is that he was never deserving of anything he got. That's the main thing. Because I think what ends up happening, because the truth is this, I think none of us are deserving of what we have usually, but we work up to it. So that's where the fake it till you make it thing comes in. You fake it till you make it. You fake it, you get in, but then you have to do the work to stay there. And I just don't think Brendan ever did the work. He just thought he could just keep faking it all the way or go through the motions. That's what I think fucked him up in the end. He never actually lost anything because he didn't deserve to get it in the first place. He never worked for it. It was given to him in a plate. And then he just, once he was in the door, because he did the opposite of what we would do, regular people, myself included. You give me a shot. You give me a chance, right, to play at some of these big clubs that I want to play at. You give me a chance to play at these big festivals, and I'm going to fucking work my ass off to make sure that I play the best set I've ever played in my entire life. Whether I'm fucking going over my set every single day until the day that set happens, I'm fucking practicing all the time. I'm going to do that just to give myself a best shot possible of getting another gig. But I think Brendan's the type of person, he'll just get the gig and get it confirmed and just, you know, relax until the day it comes and just act like it's any other show. No. You have to try harder now that you're there. You don't take your foot off the pedal, brother. You have to try harder.
Mauro asked him a question about who's going to walk out with him, his entourage, because he always walks out with all these guys. And I'm like, do something. And I go, not Bieber, am I right?
By the way, extra doubt. Those are the things that you think. You know what, Brendan? Yeah, you big up Valdez family. Exactly. I said this the other day. He talked till he made it, then kept talking, and he lost it again. Exactly. You know what Brendan's saying here? By the way, I just realized. You know when you think about the thing you should have said in the moment, but then you don't say it, and then you're like replaying in your head, and it sounds funny. That's what Brendan's doing here, but he's pretending like he said it. So I'm sure he thought of saying this thing when it happened, but he didn't say it in the moment. And he's lying and saying it to Luke. And Luke Thomas, again, this is Luke Thomas pre-showtime. He's desperate for fucking approval in the industry. He knows he's smart as fuck, but he's not getting the chance he needs. And to be fair, Luke Thomas played it well. He befriended Brendan. Brendan got him in Showtime, which then got him all the other gigs that he got. So look at him. This is a fake laugh. Closing his eyes. Like, that's not... Do you know what I mean? But you got to play the game. So I don't mind Luke Thomas.
Not the Beebs.
That is awesome.
Dude, crickets, and Floyd goes, yo, man, I'm just trying to focus on the positive things going on right now. And I go, no doubt, man. No doubt. But it's not going to be Bieber, am I right? And also, my entire dream was to play in the NFL, and then I remember I had to do one-on-one hidden drills against TKO Spikes, if you remember him.
Yes.
He looked like Brock Lesnar, but black, dark black. And he hit me, and it was like, I mean, it's like squashing a bug. I remember I was in the locker room just rethinking my entire career, but it's like, oh, no. And I was concussed and just like, this is not for me.
But that's also a fake story, because the real story is that he got cut. And I think he also said, I remember in the if you're really part of the TFATK army and you were there from the beginning, you know the law, you will know that one of the reasons why it hurts him he never made it at football, I think when he was going to practice, when he was in the practice or when he was doing the trials or wherever for the Bills or whatever team that was, they didn't print his name correctly on the jerseys. Do you remember that story? That was one of the heartbreaking stories he had. Like, he got his number right, but not his name right.
Look up McGregor Ullovizelvets Espinosa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember. I know Espinosa is. I remember. Big up Assad. Yeah. I'm replaying in my head how he fucking wheeze. Yeah, fucking brilliant. Big up McGregor, man. What a fucking legend. If you remember the law correctly, big up Assad Aziz. Appreciate it, brother. If you remember the law correctly, Brendan was like, got fucked over. Something happened with the jersey. They didn't put the right number or the right name on it. And obviously, you know, if you played sports, you know how fucking, you know, dismissive and almost, you know, how hard that can be to take when you don't have the right kit. When, like, it's kind of like they didn't really consider you. They've given everyone else kit, and you're number 14 in the squad and you don't get the right kit. You have the shorts that don't fit. You have your top that doesn't have any number on it. So I think that was part of the reason why he obviously, you know, football didn't happen and it kind of crushed his dreams and he got let go. But it wasn't like he's describing it like some like movie, like it was a movie. Oh, I got hit by this really big guy who happened to be one of the best footballers of his generation. And it's like, what? No, you just weren't good enough. You went to practice, you went to trial, you didn't put up the numbers necessary and they cut you. I think it was the first day as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, yeah, odd.
Dude, how much social media hate do you get from people who just don't like your position on Conor?
I mean, go ahead and write a hateful comment because my fans are relentless. They eat people alive.
Is that right?
Oh my God, people get ate up on there, man.
Really? This is back when Brendan used to think he had a defense squad online. Is that true? Was there? I don't remember that part of the TFATK history. Was there ever a time in history where Brendan's fans would start ragging on haters, or is it always the other way around? Yeah, exactly. Big up Assad. Exactly. He watched The Longest Yard. Exactly. Assad. He watched exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking of. He watched The Longest Yard, and man, but it's like, I don't know, man. But look at how he used to look, bro. Look at how he used to look. Look how sharp Brendan was. Well put together, handsome. Looks like he's in. Like even the sound of his voice, he sounds excited and happy. He's not medicated and on Xanax or Addies and shit. He's actually having a blast, bro. Showtime flew him out, probably on first class, nice hotel, chauffeur-driven car, some guy holding his fucking name, right, at the fucking airport when he lands and shit. Like, loving it, absolutely loving it. And he fucked it all up. Like, I still can't understand it. What a fucking, like, he got given everything on a silver plate. And just like, you know, and he pissed on it like it was a sink. Oof. What a legend. What a fucking legend. What a fucking legend. Moving on from that one, we have to talk about this. Please, we have to talk about this. Have you seen Brendan's response to the Diddy beating up Cassie in the hotel? Have you seen it? Please tell me you've seen Brendan Schaub's response or Brendan Schaub's hot take regarding Diddy beating up Cassie in 2016. Because this is mind-boggling. So, this video goes out. You guys know what I want. It's fucking viral. It shows Diddy physically assaulting Cassie in a very violent, aggressive way. Obviously, it does a lot of damage to Diddy's reputation. People are now trying to get him criminally charged. People are now talking about, you know, the culture of silence and hip hop and influence and power and misogyny and all this sort of stuff, right? And toxic masculinity, blah, 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 patriarchy. It's been a hot button topic, right? But essentially, the message to take away from this is domestic violence bad. The main message to take away from this whole thing is domestic violence is bad. Violence against women is bad. That's the main thing to take away from this, right? Brendan, for some reason, considering all of his issues, considering the people he works with, Chris D'Elia being accused of diddling literal kids, right? Literal teenagers, like allegedly. Brian Callen being accused of rape and all sorts of sexual harassment things, allegedly. Brendan himself being accused of cheating on his wife 1,000,000 times, allegedly. The issue with Bobby Lee, Kalila, all that stuff, and Liederman. You'd imagine someone like him would want to keep out of this topic because, you know, why bring extra flames on you? Look at what he says in the caption regarding this story with the TMZ screenshot. Look at what he says. He's got a screenshot of the story here, right? With Diddy and Cassie. Right? Diddy assaulting Cassie in 2016, brutal surveillance video. And look at Brendan's, the first couple of questions that pop into Brendan's head regarding this whole issue. Few questions. Either this Diddy video, 1, how much did he pay the hotel for that video? 2, the hotel is liable for saying the video and not reporting the assault, right? So Brendan is more concerned about how the video got leaked to the media, to the public, than the well-being of the woman in the video and the violence that's depicted in the video itself against a helpless woman who's crumpled up on the floor while her boyfriend at the time, Diddy, beats her repeatedly and then pushes her in a corner and flings a vase on her head. And before that, actually, in a room, allegedly, he punched her in the eye, which gave her a black eye, which is why she's running away in the first place. But the 2 questions at the front of Brendan's brain when he sees that video, how much did they pay the hotel for that video? And if the hotel is liable for saying the video and not reporting the assault. Brendan might be a redact, legitimately. Or this is another instance of him having his own skeletons in his closet, and he's worried that somebody else out there might have some videos about some shit that he's done. And he's like, hold on. What's going on here? Maybe this is his Crystalia Snapchat moment. He's like, what? So hotels can like hold on to video. Even if you pay them, they can leak it and it's all right. Even if it's on an NDA. Maybe this is his Crystalia Snapchat moment. So how do you stay with Snapchat? Maybe this is it. Because what the fuck? Exactly. Big up Brandon in the chat. Diddy's a fan. Yeah, or Diddy's a fan. Exactly. Big up Brandon in the chat. Or Diddy is a fan. Yeah, Diddy's a big fan. He came up to me. He came up to me and said it. Oh my God. And of course, the comments are fucking eating him up. Why isn't one of your questions directed at the assault of the video? Weird. Why is this important? Okay, this was Diddy. Hotel isn't liable unless they hid the evidence from the police. Leave Diddy alone, bro. I missed to get him to the Greek Diddy. Why 8 years later is this coming to light? Someone just holding on to I have a question. Did she have fun though? Big up you, the Vic O. Those are your questions. I feel sorry for your wife.
Boo Umbaclot. Yo bro, I appreciate the content and streams, man. Thanks.
Big up, man. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you for joining. Thank you for the donation, brother. Thank you for joining. And yeah, man, I'm just bored at home. Nothing to do. So why not chat on shit with you guys online? Right? Why not do that? So thank you to Ill Will 23. Big up Ill Will 23. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you to Ill Will 23. I appreciate ya. But yeah, I love this comment. Those are your questions. I feel sorry for your wife. That's what I was thinking. Imagine the first thing that comes to mind when you see the Diddy video is like, oh my God, how did it get leaked? How much did he pay for it? Like what? Now, to be fair though, if that is a question that you are wondering, most likely I think this is what happened. I think, and again, this is just my theory, I personally think Diddy didn't give the guys enough money. I think a guy like that, who's an abuser, manipulator, gaslighter, and just an all-round piece of shit guy, I think he's also kind of cheap. I don't think he gave them that much. He might have gave them 30 grand, 50 grand, 60 grand, but not enough to like, you know, not enough for a video of that nature. Because that video is a video where if they dropped it in 2016, that would end his career anyway. So he probably didn't pay them enough money. So fuck it. We dropped their, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? You know what I mean? But if he actually paid them enough, life-changing money, millions, that video could have been deleted forever, but he didn't pay them enough. And of course, most importantly, he kept abusing her, because that wasn't the only time he abused her. So if he would have stopped abusing her and actually made some change, he would have been fine. Which I think is funny because it goes to show how much of a piece of shit Diddy is. Instead of actually changing his behavior, he just changed his name. Imagine, instead of changing his behavior, he just changed his name. Brother Love. Call me Love now. Fuck off, you cunt. What a fucking piece of shit. Anyway, he forgot to renew. The membership explains why he settled. Yeah, who cares? Look at the video. That's all you need to know. Exactly. But I find Brendan's response to be fucking utterly perplexing, to be fair. The first thing you think about is that. How did he pay how much did he pay? And the hotel is liable. It's fucking insane. It's really, really insane. Brendan definitely has some video footage out there from, imagine if comedy clubs, because that's the thing these guys have to be thankful for, right? Me Too happened, cancel culture, you know, is kind of over. But imagine at the height of Me Too is some of these waitresses, bartenders, you know, front of house people, ticket people, open micers. Imagine if they got hold of some of the CCTV footage in comedy clubs and released it. Some of your favorite comedians, it might be over for them. It might be over for them if comedy club CCTV footage was ever released. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? But yeah. Big up Cassie, man. She secured the bag. And you know what I'd like? I want this to be true. Here's what I want to be true. I want this to be true. I want the narrative to be true that what happened is this. I want it to be true that Diddy paid the hotel workers a nominal fee. Let's call it 50K. Not enough, basically. But let's say he was being cheap and he paid them 50,000. That 50,000 to the hotel workers at a time, they split it between the two of them. You're left with 25. Maybe you gave someone something else. Maybe you come out of it with 25 grand, 10 grand. It's not enough. Then, of course, the further down the line, Diddy, Cassie ends up suing Diddy. He settles out of court and gives her like 50 million or something crazy like that. She signs an NDA, or a condition of the money is that you can't talk about it anymore. But then because she hates him so much, she happens to have a copy of that footage, because the guys sent it to her. Those hotel workers who got the money from Diddy, they felt slighted because he didn't give them enough, so they thought, fuck, I'm going to send it to Cassie anyway. They DM'd it to Cassie in secret. She's always had a copy of it but never told anybody. She sues Diddy, gets her $100 million, signs the NDA, and then still releases the video footage as a final middle finger to him. I want that to be true. That's the narrative that I want. That's the best way to get your revenge back. He fucked you over so much that you run his pockets and you fuck up his reputation by dropping the video. So it's in there. That would be an amazing story if that's true. I'd love that to be true. Like, he got fucked over every single way, and it started because he didn't pay those hotel workers. Because I have a feeling people like that are fucking greedy and cheap. Hello, my friends. I should be back now. We should be good. We should be ready to go now. We should be back. We should be ready to go now. I had a nice little bit of a drain the sausage as well, so I had a nice little piss. So we're now ready to go as well. We're ready to go. I'm nicely pissed out and nicely hydrated. Hopefully you are well too. Everything is good on my side. Everything is good on my side. 60 plus tabs. And then you're wondering why you're lagging. 60 plus Anyway, what can you do? I like to have fun. I'm a tabs boy, man. I'm one of those type of guys. You know, I'm sure some of you people work with people like that. I'm sure some of you people know people like that. I'm sure some of you out there are like that. But I'm a tabs boy. I always think I'm going to look back at the tab. I'm going to check it later. I can't close it. I need it. And then... we back now, though. We back. No lag, boys. No lag, boys. No more crazy amount of tabs. Okay, cool. Let's rock back straight into it. Let's not even waste any more time. Let me go straight into it. Let me get this thing up on here so that we can continue. No lag, boys. No lag, boys. We back in the sector. Big everybody tuning in. Big up, yeah. Your computer was good with 59, but not 60. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 60 is too much. 60 is too much, man. 60 is too much. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, thank you for those of you letting me know. Appreciate you. And I don't want to. You know, what you call it? I don't want to have you guys watch a shitty lagging stream. So if it does lag, let me know and I'll just reboot. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, moving on. Let's get straight into it. Let's not waste any more time because I've already wasted tons of your time already. Apologies for the restart, but we're here. So I want to quickly check this because I didn't actually read it. I didn't actually read over it. I'm sure some of you have, but I wanted to read over the DJ AKADEMIKS case itself because I've been told there's some information there that might clear up some of the things I've been dubious or not sure about. So this is the actual lawsuit that's been filed against DJ AKADEMIKS for rape and defamation. The rape allegation is what it is. The defamation thing, I think, will be hard to prove, isn't it? I'd imagine it's hard to prove defamation, but if the lawyer took it on, maybe there's a case for it. I don't know. Either way, the case, as you can see here, is this lady called Fauzia Abash, or Abashi, or is it Abash, against Livingston Allen, also known as DJ AKADEMIKS, and also an individual known as John Doe's 1 to 10. So let's actually check the whole thing because I want to see what happened because I didn't actually get a grip on what's actually occurring. So let's actually read over the lawsuit that pertains to DJ AKADEMIKS and this rape allegation and this defamation allegation. So, introduction. On or about July 16th, 2023, the defendant Allen contacted Mr. Bosch, invited her to come to his house and visit him in New Jersey. Already there's a lie here, isn't it? Because didn't AKADEMIKS say in the stream that he was at that Antonio Brown pool party and she was meant to meet him there, but then she met him at the house instead? Now the lawsuit is saying that he invited her to the house directly. Eesh. Okay, anyway, let's just continue. Even though it had been almost a year since they last saw each other, Miss Sabashi did not suspect any ill intention and agreed. She was accustomed to visiting Mr. Allen at his home in New Jersey, and Mr. Allen would send a car to pick her up. Miss Sabash lives in Pennsylvania. How long is the drive? How long is drive from Pennsylvania to New Jersey? How long is that drive? Because she must have been into him as well to drive all that way. She must like him. It's nearly a 4-hour drive. Yo, she must really like the boy. 4-hour drive, 235 miles. Fucking hell. Okay, I didn't know anybody act that much. Somebody says in the stream chat, where? I don't know where, my friend. I'm not sure who says where. Angel, I don't know where. It doesn't say where, but she says she was in Pennsylvania. It doesn't say where exactly though. And he's New Jersey. Cool, let's continue. On the day of the incident, Mr. Bosch arrived to enjoy her evening. Little did she know that defendant Allen and his two accomplices, John Doe 1 and John Doe 2, would drug and rape her. The morning after the incident, Mr. Bosch was unaware of what happened. She only became aware after Allen showed her surveillance footage of the being sexually assaulted by John Doe 1 and 2 on his pool deck. Mr. Bosch is in shock and fearful for the reality of that occurred set in. In the aftermath, Mr. Bosch reported Mr. Allen and his accomplices' actions to the police. A rape kit was performed, evidencing that Mr. Bosch had been sexually assaulted. Hold on. A rape kit was performed or administered that showed that she was sexually assaulted. So what the fuck is AKADEMIKS? So I guess AKADEMIKS is trying to say he didn't rape her, his friends did. I don't think that's good either, is it? His friends raped her, he didn't. Is that what he's trying to say? Because she was raped according to this lawsuit. That's undeniable. She definitely had unconsensual, against her will sex, under duress, under the threat of violence, aka rape. Since reporting the horrific rapes, Ms. Sabash chose silence and remained silent until, on December 30th, Mr. Allen took to social media and defamed Ms. Sabash. Mr. Allen accused Ms. Sabash of voluntarily having an orgy with his friends at his home while maintaining he never participated at all. This led to a spew of public slander from Ms. Sabash's account of what happened, spread like wildfire on multiple media outlets. As detailed below, Mr. Allen made several public statements defaming Ms. Sabash surrounding the evidence of her assault. She was filled with anger, and all the suppressed painful memories of the horrific night resurfaced. In her state of anger, Ms. Sabash released a video addressing Mr. Allen's involvement, the one we watched before, right? When Ms. Sabash's account was published, Mr. Allen lashed out with false statements. Mr. Allen denied involvement, even though upon information behalf of Mrs. Allen's sperm size was discovered on the rape kit. Mr. Allen's sperm size, which publicly damaged Mr. Bosch's reputation. Mr. Allen and his two accomplices' sexual assault severely injured Mr. Bosch, causing significant physical and psychological pain, suffering, loss of dignity, and invasion of her privacy. Mr. Allen's public statements added to the harm Mr. Bosch was already silently suffering with. Yo. Exactly, Eduardo. I didn't smash, but my brothers did. I didn't rape, but my brothers did. Like, that's not an actual defense. The plaintiff Abash is a writer. She is a resident and domiciliary of the state of Pennsylvania. Defendant Allen, look at him in this video, is a social media antagonist, commentator, primarily known as presence on platforms on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. Allen is currently resident and domiciliary of the state of New Jersey. At all times here and there mentioned upon information on behalf of John Doe's this court has subject matter jurisdiction over the action because of the parties of citizens, different states. The amount in controversy exceeds $75,000. Is this what they're trying to get? They're trying to get more than this, or they're just saying because it accounts over that? The venue is probably factual background. According to Miss Abash, she met Allen on social media in 2021. She began casually dating him, and he periodically invited her to his home in New Jersey. At the time, Miss Abash lived in Pennsylvania. She did not have transportation, so Mr. Allen would send her a car service such as Uber or Lyft to pick her up in Pennsylvania and bring her to his home in New Jersey. Yo, they must like each other, because according to Google, to get from Pennsylvania to New Jersey is 4 hours basically. Maybe let's say 3 to be kind if you're really speeding. I don't think I've ever traveled 3 hours for anybody. And I don't think I've ever had anybody travel 3 hours for me ever. I don't care what you look like. I'm not traveling 3 hours. Not a chance. Never. 3 hours in a car. Fuck off. As previously stated, on July 16, 2022, Mr. Allen contacted Miss Abash and invited her to visit him in his home in New Jersey. Miss Abash is not expecting attention, even though they'd almost not seen each other for a year. She was accustomed to visit Mr. Allen. Unbeknownst to Mr. Abash, he had ulterior motives. Before the arrival, Mr. Allen had notified his friends that a woman was coming over and that she was on a different type of vibes. Oh my God, that sounds like something he'd say in it. Type of vibes. A different type of vibes is indication that Mr. Abash would be coming over to engage in sexual activities. According to a post on social media, Mr. Allen admitted to telling John Doe 1 and 2 and stated, "Now granted, this is a girl who I've been dealing with for a couple of years. I've been messing with her for years. When she came over that time, she told me she was like a dancer and some shit. I remember, and I don't know if maybe my niggas took it the wrong way, because I remember she had told me, she was like, yo girl, you used to know, like I'm on like some bad girl vibes now type shit. Basically, she was like doing her thing. I remember I told them, John Doe 1 and 2, I'm like, yo, this is before when I was going to the party. I was like, yo, I'm about to get this girl coming over later for me. She told me she on some different vibes. I don't know if that's what John Doe 1 and 2 took. And I can't really speak for other niggas things. I only speak for myself. All right, bet, cool. What do you mean, Idris, was it put Philly to Jersey? What do you mean? What, instead of writing that, I should put Philly? What do you mean Philly? Instead of Pennsylvania, I should put Philly. Philly. Like that. Oh. Big up NJ Ranger. Big up NJ Ranger. Okay, cool. Big up NJ Ranger. I think I put the whole state of Philadelphia. And I guess Philly is completely different. Okay, this makes sense. 1 hour 13 minutes is more applicable. I thought she traveled 4 hours for academics. I had to say, what? You traveled 4 hours to meet DJ Academics? Like, that's an L in itself. Do you know what I mean? Apart from the alleged rape that took part, that was obviously horrible. But okay, that makes more sense. From Philly to New Jersey is 1 hour 13 minutes. Okay, cool. Big up NJ Ranger. You're a fucking G. Big up NJ Ranger. Big up NJ Ranger. Always and forever. Thank you for that clarification. I was like, what? She traveled 4 hours for fucking academics. Oh. But yeah, you're right. Imagine traveling 4 hours, and if you're an Uber driver, you'd be pissed as well, innit? Taking some fucking girl to a fucking booty call, traveling for 4 hours in silence, or having her play Ice Spice on the fucking sound system for 4 hours. I'd stop the car. Imagine you're an Uber driver and you have to fucking get some girl over to a fucking booty call and you have to play fucking Sexy Red for 4 hours. Yeah. God bless all my Uber drivers out there, man. Bless you. Cab drivers, all you guys are fucking soldiers. Because I would definitely RIP somebody if you had to do that. Especially with the fucking shitty music people play. I'm not gonna lie, if that was me and I was driving a car, I don't know about you guys in the chat, that's a segue. I'm not a believer in putting on your own music. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's very rude and very presumptuous of people, presumptuous of people, very imposing. I never do it. I never ever play my own music. If I have music, I just play on my headphones. But I don't, what's the fucking Wi-Fi? What's the Bluetooth? Like, no. What's the aux cable? That's fucking, I hate that shit. I think that's awful. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, continue. Cool. When Miss Abash arrived, Mr. Allen's home, everything seemed normal, apart from the neighborhood power outage. Khalif, a friend of Mr. Allen, which is John Doe 1, greeted her. So academics didn't even greet her at the door. Already a big faux pas for me. If I travel an hour for you in the fucking Uber, the least you can do is meet me at the fucking door. Or come down and meet me. Do you know what I mean? Don't get your friend to come open the door for me, you fucking donkey. Miss Abash was taken back because Mr. Allen did not tell her anyone else would be at the home upon her arrival. She did not suspect anything suspicious, so she entered the home. John Doe 1 invited Miss Abash into the kitchen, and she said to John Doe 2, Slime, another one of Mr. Allen's friends. So Khalif and Slime. Fucking hell, man. Due to the power outage, is that like a lie or is that true? The three of them sat in the kitchen together. Miss Abash engaged in small talk with them while patiently waiting for academics to arrive. Miss Abash recalls John Doe 1 being relatively talkative, but John Doe 2 was oddly quiet. Miss Abash was initially offered a drink, but she refused and opted to have her own drink, as she was accustomed to when she visited Mr. Academics. That's also weird, by the way, that she didn't like drinking Academics' drinks already. Strange, isn't it, right? Like, why didn't she try? Why didn't she test? Why didn't she trust the liquids at Academics' home anyway? That's very suspicious. John Doe 1 insisted that they prepare Miss Abash a drink. Unbeknownst to Miss Abash, John Doe 1 was Mr. Allen's manager or employee, and he asserted his position by telling Miss Abash that he was in charge until Academics arrived. So Academics is not even at the house. He's at some party somewhere on his way back. He gets his girl to come meet him there, but his friends are there, and it's just his girl and those, like, why would you... Guys these days are moving mad funny style. As odd as this encounter was, Miss Abash obliged and allowed John Doe 1 and John Doe 2 to fix her a drink. As the trio conversed, Miss Abash asked for Mr. Allen and was told to hold on. John Doe 1 then left the kitchen to find Mr. Allen, and then he came back and said Mr. Allen would... So Academics was there, not even... He was in the house, but in another wing. Okay, it's a mansion, another place. And he left this girl alone in the kitchen with these two fucking friends called Khalif and Slime. Okay, what could go wrong? Miss Abash believed that it was true and did not go to find Mr. Allen herself because the home was completely dark. So there was only power in the kitchen and wherever Academics was. And so that's not a power outage, no? Does that sound like a power outage to you? That you only have light in two rooms? Usually it's like one room or none. Sounds like they were running a game on her, to be fair. Admittedly, Miss Abash recalls having an eerie feeling, but she ignored it because she did not believe that Mr. Allen, whom she had known for nearly 2 years, would harm her or allow her to be harmed. She dismissed those feelings as nerves and waited for Mr. Allen to arrive. Shortly after the power had returned, John Doe 1 asked if Miss Abash wanted to use the hot tub or the pool, and wait for academics there. Mr. Bosch said they'd be okay with the hot tub. Again, Mr. Bosch did not expect anything. We have to also, not to victim blame, but we also have to wake up these women. You're going to have a cheeky link, right? You get to the cheeky link's house, and the cheeky linker is not the one that opens the door for you. Some random person. Cool. Bit weird, but alright. The random person doesn't go out of their way to try and get your cheeky linker to come down and meet you. They're mere preoccupied about having small talk with you and almost trying to chat you up. Then they invite you to a hot tub and you go. What the fuck? Huh? Why don't you just call the person while you're there? Hey, no, I'm not interested in a hot tub, thank you. Why don't you just call? Like, what the fuck are you? Like, honestly, man, why is this girl just going with everybody in the house? Like, what's happening here? Again, Mr. Bosch did not expect anything. She was accustomed to using the hot tub, and Paul, when she previously visited academics, she was also under the impression that John Doe and John Doe 2 would leave after putting the hot tub on. What? So she thought they turn on the hot tub and leave her in there, just walk away. Mr. Bosch enters the hot tub alone. Shortly after, John Doe 1 appeared from inside the house and proceeded to join her in the hot tub. Shortly after, John Doe 2 appeared with a bottle of alcohol and began forcing her to take shots of the alcohol. According to Mr. Bosch, she vaguely remembers John Doe 2 nervously pacing around the pool area. Eventually, Mr. Bosch recalls beginning to feel strange. It was not simply a feeling of intoxication, as Mr. Bosch had only a half of the first drink and a few sips of a new drink that John Doe 1 had provided her as he entered the hot tub. Mr. Bosch began feeling extremely hot, as if her body was on fire. She felt extremely lightheaded and dizzy. So she's alleging that they spiked her drink. Fucking hell, bro. Academics is moving with some absolute animals. So they must have had this stuff on them. If this is spiking, this is somewhat premeditated. Like they just had it on them, on the whim, just in case something goes down. Or maybe academics has got like a alleged spike supply, because she came like out of the blue, no? Upon noticing this, John Doe 2 asked her if she was lit. They then returned to the kitchen. He then returned with more alcohol, which they insisted she drank. They even went so far as to pour the alcohol into Mr. Bosch's mouth forcefully. According to Mr. Bosch, she recalls John Doe becoming very handsy as he aggressively made sexual advances towards her, which she rejected. Upon information and belief that John Doe 2 was on the sidelines watching while all this was happening. According to Mr. Bosch, John Doe 1 would not take no for an answer and began groping her. He eventually picked her up and tossed her into the pool adjacent to the hot tub. According to Mr. Bosch, she was disorientated, had trouble breathing, and struggled to get out of the pool, fear of drowning. So they nearly drowned her. Oh my god, this gets fucking spooky. Academics is fucked. As she attempted to crawl out of the pool while still disorientated, struggling to breathe, John Doe 1 attacked her. He forcibly removed her underwear, opened her legs, and began penetrating her vagina with his erect penis. Mr. Bosch did not consent. In fact, due to the alcohol or whatever substance was placed in the alcohol, she was not in the right mindset to consent of any of the sexual acts that were being performed by John Doe 1. Mr. Bosch then has memories of fighting off her attackers but feeling extremely weak. As John Doe 1 assaulted her, Mr. Bosch would later learn that John Doe 2 watched from the side and undressed in the bushes nearby. Yo, academics keep some creep company. This guy's undressing in the bushes like BGL was trying to hand Brendan that whiskey that time. Oh my god. Mr. Bosch would later learn that she laid lifeless on the concrete. John Doe 1 was standing in the pool while shifting his lifeless body back and forth on the concrete. John Doe 2 was undressing in the bushes and would soon ambush Mr. Bosch. The two men then proceeded to rape Mr. Bosch simultaneously. Or simultaneously, however you say the fucking word. Upon information and belief, this was witnessed by the police when the surveillance footage was recovered. So the police saw this, but then they didn't think it was this is what I mean about sexual assault and rape and shit. And these fucking comedians act as if like, oh, because the police didn't get involved, like Brendan and all those type of guys, it doesn't. Bro, this is proof that it takes a lot to prosecute, because there's allegedly tape that shows this girl getting raped, and the police still didn't think it was enough to charge fucking academics with anything. Do you know what I mean? He handed over the tape voluntarily, and they still didn't charge him. So this is proof that just because you didn't get charged doesn't mean you're not fucking guilty. Motherfuckers. According to Abash, upon further, as John Doe 1 finished vaginally raping Miss Abash, he allowed John Doe 2 to rape Abash vaginally. According to Miss Abash, lying on the concrete was the last memory that she had as part of the attack. She recalls going in and out of consciousness and does not recall ever entering the home. So they put her outside that entire, oh my god, whatever substance John Doe and John Doe 2 slipped into Miss Abash's drink negatively impacted her memory and caused her to lose consciousness. According to Miss Abash, she recalls being awakened naked in the bed in what she believed was Mr. Allen's bedroom. She believes this was around 4 a.m. She was awoken by Mr. Allen savagely pulling her hair, prying open her legs, and raping her brutally. So those two friends raped her. When they finished, they carried her inside, put her in Academics' bed, and then he raped her again, according to her. If he didn't do this, how the fuck is he gonna clear this? Like, how do you clear this if he didn't do it? Like, how do you make this? How do you make your account make sense? Because Academics never shared that he fucked her in the first place. He said his friends fucked her and that she enjoyed it, and she said she was lit, she had a good time, and the video footage shows that she was on it. So how do you prove that you didn't do what? Because if you lied about your friends, if you lied about not fucking her when your friends fucked her, then it stands to reason that you lied about everything. That's the problem with lying. That's why you should always be radically honest with these. No. Number one, don't fucking rape anyway to begin with. Don't rape. Don't sexually assault anybody. Especially Academics. Like, he's a fat, ugly motherfucker and he's still getting groupies. If you're getting groupies and you're a fat, ugly motherfucker like Academics, you don't need to push it too much. Just fucking relax. But obviously, the guy's whatever. Cool. I just don't get how he thought it was okay to invite a girl to his house and have his friends like welcome her. That's the thing that's very dicey to me. That seems like an odd thing to do, like almost like you wanted her to get to that state before she came to you. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. But if it's me, I want, you know, hey, what's up, man? You want to like welcome them, you want to get them a drink, you want to hang out, you want to catch up, you want to eat something. Yeah, I mean, you just want to like be in their presence. Like, you want to welcome them straight away. You don't want some other, I mean, it seems odd that he'd let his friends be her first point of contact. That seems very odd. Academics is fucked, bro. I don't know how he disproves this. The rape kit was done, so she was fucked. Anyway, let's continue. According to Mr. Barsh, Mr. Allen was relentless. He tried to penetrate her anally, was frustrated because she kept squirming and moving due to the pain. As a result, Mr. Allen proceeded to rape her vaginally. Upon information and belief, Mr. Allen was not using protection when he anally and vaginally raped Mr. Barsh, as evidenced by the purported discovery of his sperm side on the rape kit, which performed on Mr. Barsh a few hours after he raped her. So they can categorically say that he did raw dog this girl. Mr. Bash recalls begging Mr. Allen to stop raping her. She recalls her voice was faint as he continued to drift in and out of consciousness. As she continued to drift, Mr. Bash remembers crying for most of the assault, but losing her ability to move physically. Mr. Bash eventually gave up fighting in hopes of Allen would finish quickly. The only thing close to like pedophile is raping, isn't it? When you read it, like, could you imagine forcefully doing this to anybody? That's why pedophiles have to be like, they're in the same category as evilness as rapists, isn't it? Really, if you think about it. Doing anything to kids is beyond reproach, and forcefully raping somebody is just like, you know, there's no such thing as softly raping somebody, but regardless, raping somebody flat out must be up there with one of the most evil acts you could ever do. It must be up there. Must be up there with fucking selling NFTs, alright? NFTs, raping, and pedophile shit must be three of the worst crimes you could ever commit. You'd know coming back from that shit ever. Like seeing somebody cry and you're just like, oh, yeah. Oh, Mr. Bosch recalls Mr. Allen saying, "Open your mouth," as he pulled her hair. He said, "Open your mouth. I want to come in your mouth." Oh my god. Oh my god. It's bad enough if you're consenting to fucking sex with academics. Getting him to come in your mouth is horrible.
And remember how fixated he was on flagrant town about how he didn't see any condom? Meanwhile, this MF.
Hold on 1 second. Wait, what did you say? Sorry. Hold on a second. Let me get this thing up so I can read it in full, because I think you said a swear word and they cut you off here. Bear me a second. Pick up NJ Ranger. And remember how fixated he was on flagrant, talking about he didn't see any condom. Meanwhile, exactly. Oh my god, NJ Ranger. You remember? I'm gonna say this loudly and proudly for all my straight hetero males in the stream chat. Have you noticed, and I've noticed it with some of my ex-friends that I've noticed in the past, have you noticed guys who are very vulgar and descriptive unnecessarily about sexual intercourse and shit with girls are usually kind of creepy? Have you guys noticed this? Anytime there's a guy that's like, especially with the boys, maybe with ladies it's different because you're trying to get a horny, I don't know, you're trying to get sexy time. But have you noticed anytime there's a guy friend who talks very in detail about stuff like, oh yeah, I had my fucking cock in her mouth, she was fucking joking, her eyes were like, he's really giving you like too much information as a boy. Usually, as a like, man to man, usually those guys are sus. In my experience, guys who are, it's usually, for lack of a better, and again, this is a really sad part of it. Either the person hasn't come to grips or hasn't come to, hasn't accepted their own sexuality, and usually they're kind of, trying to hide for the fact that they're gay and trying to overcompensate, or the person is a bit of a creep. But more likely it's a creep shit. When they're like being overly descriptive. Oh yeah, I was coming all over her. I was coming in her. She was dripping. She couldn't walk. Mate, honestly, she was screaming. I had to cover her mouth with a fucking pillow. Like, all that sort of shit. Like they start giving you like, and sometimes it's even worse and more awkward when they start telling you all this shit. And it's about their like girlfriend who you've met or their wife who you know. Like, you're like, maybe keep that to yourself, bro. Like, why are you telling me all this shit? I just asked you if you had a good time. I didn't ask you to, like, you ask your friend, oh, did you have a good time yesterday? And like, yeah, man, I fucking fucked her brains out, man. Honestly, my cock is sore. Like, so what? Those type of dudes are usually the sussest. And academics, pick up NJ Ranger. Academics said in that flagrant interview, he was really talking about the condom. Like, he didn't see any like, even when he was describing the story on his streams, he was like, yeah, my friend fucked her raw. Like, he was almost getting off on it, talking about it. Now we know why. According to Mr. Barr, she woke up confused following the morning and searched for Mr. Allen. According to Mr. Barr, she looked around the house and found him in the basement of his computer. Of course. According to Mr. Barsh, she sat on the floor next to him. He asked her if she knew that his friends ran a train on her, to which she said, I'm not gonna lie, but isn't this proof that this guy's a fucking lame and a bozo? Even if she did have a consensual train ran on her, why are you asking in the morning like this? Like, as if he's you had a train. Like, who does this? Have some tact, have some class, have some decor, like tact, something. Like, what? You're talking to her like she's a boy. Like, are you okay? Yeah, a train ran on you. Like, what? She just woke up. Huh? He kept asking, are you sure? He told her everything was all right and he was good if she was cool. According to Mr. Barsh, she was baffled and in disbelief. According to Mr. Barsh, Mr. Allen then asked her to follow him to another room, where he showed her the contents of a small trash can that had what appeared to be vomit in it, and 2 gold Magnum condom wrappers and asked, "Do you remember this?" He is the, like, oh, God almighty. Mr. Bosch said was still in disbelief. She has zero recollection of ever being in that room the prior night. According to Mr. Bosch, it appeared that after John Doe and John 2 raped her by the pool, the pair had taken her into another room in the house and continued to rape her brutally. Mr. Allen then handed her a can of vomit and asked her to throw it away. Mr. Bosch then asked for her phone, and Mr. Allen went to retrieve it. He continued telling her everything was alright if she was okay. At this point, she was still in disbelief and asked for proof of what occurred. According to Mr. Bosch, Mr. Allen showed her surveillance footage of John Doe raping her briefly and skipped through the video. According to Mr. Bosch, as she watched the video, she looked like she was just lying there lifeless, which did not sit right with her. How did the police see this video and don't think he got charged? This is the thing that's baffling me. I understand the lawsuit, but how did the police see that video and determine that it was consensual? Or that there wasn't, maybe they determined there was no grounds to prosecute, because I would love to know how they came to that decision. According to Mr. Bosch, Mr. Allen then assured her that everything was okay. And he spoke, and he noticed that Mr. Bosch's demeanor had begun to change. Mr. Allen then hastily told her his mother was on the way and he would be there shortly to proceed to order her a lift back to Pennsylvania. According to Mr. Bosch, Mr. Allen asked her where her clothing was. She responded that she had it. He stood there with a suspicious look on his face. Mr. Bosch later learned from the police that Mr. Allen disposed of several items, the bed sheets, etc., at the dumpster near his office. Presumably, Mr. Allen had attempted to destroy the evidence of the rape. Wow. Wow. He was disposed evidence. Mr. Bosch began feeling uneasy. She felt that Mr. Allen was attempting to take her clothes for some reason, presumably to hide whatever evidence she may have on it what happened on the night before. As these thoughts ran through her mind, so not to alarm Mr. Allen, Mr. Bosch remained composed as she waited for a lift to arrive. Mr. Bosch said bye to Mr. Allen and left his home. According to Mr. Bosch, she called Allen while in the lift asking for more answers. He began to blame her and ridicule her. Still trying to get answers, she pleaded with him, even apologizing for what occurred, as she was desperate to learn of the series of events that had led Mr. Allen and his accomplices to attack her. According to Mr. Bosch, she asked Allen, "Well, you said that it was both of them, but you only showed me one. Can you show me proof of this?" To which Allen sent her a screenshot of the attack laid out on the concrete in front of the pool, with John Doe 1 between her legs and John Doe 2 sitting on top of her face, presumably with his penis and tentacles in her mouth. Whew. This was terrifying for her, as she knew within herself that she would never consent to any of this. Even though she had previously intimate with Mr. Allen in years past, it was never a threesome or anything more than one-on-one consensual sex. As she arrived home, where she felt safest, the reality of what had happened began to set in. Mr. Bosch also began feeling intense vaginal and anal pain. She contacted Mr. Allen again, saying that she was hurt and wanted to see somebody. Mr. Bosch felt destroyed, but also was afraid and wanted to know if there was repercussions from Mr. Allen if she were to seek help. She asked him for the complete footage. Mr. Allen refused. He suggested that she get tested for sexually transmitted diseases, and said that he would do so the same. This was an odd statement, as it was proof that Mr. Allen, who had not slept with Mr. Bosch for over a year, engaged in unprotected sexual intercourse with Mr. Bosch. Exactly, that's a very suspicious thing to say. Still fearful, Mr. Bosch contacted her immigration lawyer, who advised her to contact police regardless of the outcome. Mr. Bosch called the police and reported the incident of sexual assault. They told her that due to the seriousness of the matter, she needed to appear in person to speak with them, and that she should visit a local hospital for a SANE test, S-A-N-E test. What does that mean? What is a SANE test? Fuck, academics is fucked. A SANE test, a sexual assault medical forensic examinations performed by specially trained medical professionals for the purpose of evaluation and treatment of trauma, treatment of possible exposure to infection, referral to counseling and follow-up medical care, and for the collection of evidence following a report of sexual assault. So it stands for Sexual Assault Nurse Examiner. She went to the hospital, Penn State Health St. Joseph, where the same test was performed, and the police called Mr. Bosch to schedule a meeting. According to Mr. Bosch, during the meeting with the police, a statement was taken. Photographs of her bruises, scars were taken, and the officers asked her to participate in a recorded wire call to AKADEMIKS. Wow, he's on tape. Oh my God, this guy is fucked. According to Mr. Bosch, during the recorded wire call, the police wrote down a list of questions for her to ask AKADEMIKS, but told her not to make it evident the police were listening. Mr. Bosch remembers asking AKADEMIKS to describe how she looked when he saw her in the bed. He answered, "You look like you were in the pool." According to Mr. Bosch, on this call, AKADEMIKS graphically admits to having sexual intercourse with Mr. Bosch, even going as far to describe her vagina as being loose, stating, "I know what your pussy feels like. That shit felt loose." Based on the information and belief, this evidence was used to obtain a warrant for the footage, and police secured the footage and other evidence. According to Mr. Bosch, the results of the same test produced evidence that Mr. Bosch had been sexually assaulted. In addition to the rape kit, Mr. Bosch had images of bruises on the arm, back and buttocks and legs. At the time of her attack, Mr. Bosch was 5'5" and weighed 115 pounds. The attackers were approximately 5'10". AKADEMIKS is not 5'10" and 200. Well, no, he's more than that. The attackers were 5'10", 160, and John Doe 2 was 5'11" and 180. As detailed earlier, Mr. Bosch was sexually assaulted on concrete deck, as evidenced in the photo below. Mr. Bosch's body is lying limp and lifeless, while John Doe 1 and 2 proceed to pull her back and forth on the concrete, causing bruises and lacerations on the body. That's the picture. I'm not gonna lie, she does look kind of lifeless in that picture. I'm not gonna lie, she does look kind of lifeless in that picture. That doesn't look like a picture of somebody that, again, I'm only saying this because of all the information I've got. Maybe there's already a bias there. I'm seeing what I want to see, but that picture doesn't look consensual to me. That picture doesn't look like she's having a good time to me. You know, that picture looks like two boys having a good time, and she's just, you know, not aware of what's going on. You know what I think, though? You know what I think? You know what I think? You know what I think? I think most likely what happened was that she probably didn't get spiked. She probably drank a lot, and they just took advantage of her while she was fucked. She probably doesn't drink much anyway, and girls are notoriously, you know, lightweights when it comes to the booze. If you don't drink much and then you start drinking to calm your nerves while you're there, she just got too fucked up, and then those guys took advantage. I think that's what I could see. That I can see AKADEMIKS and his friends being those type of people, which is bad in itself, right? I'm sure some of you guys know those type of boys who get really handsy when girls get drunk. Whereas for me, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up in an area and with people where it was never a win to like get off with a girl when she was drunk. It was never a win. Like you actually went out of your way to kind of like, you know, stop it and be like, nah, I'm good, and just kind of leave it alone. Like it was never a win to get off something. Like no one ever gave you props. But I know there's some guys that anything's a win. So even if she's like literally like falling over, they're trying to take her home and shit. So I think that's what probably happened. She got really fucked, and then they obviously took advantage. That's what I think happened. Either way, Academics is fucked. He's fucked. He is fucked. He's already fucked. Yeah, he fucked. Yeah, Be Up Ucha, everything said, yeah, I don't know how do you prove if somebody's been drugged? How do they I don't even know what you do. Is that toxicology? How do you, how do you prove someone's been drugged? How would they do that anyway? I'm assuming they'll just take is it toxicology? I'm assuming that's what gets done, right? The most common drug used for sexual assault yes. So I guess technically getting drowned in booze is also getting drugged. Okay, that makes sense. The most common drug used for sexual assault continues to be alcohol. Symptoms that might indicate being drugged include sudden nausea, vomiting, dizziness, incapacitation. But the other one they use is what's that drug that all the gays like to use? They use GHB in it. They use GHB or sometimes even ketamine. Actually, oddly enough, ketamine and GHB are usually the ones people use to drug girls and shit. Fuck, you know, Academics is really fucked. Yeah. Toxicology, being unable to move your body. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. She did say that thing, innit? Being able to move your body is more than alcohol. The bruises, we don't need to see that. Okay, let's read the academic statement and then we can move on. Academic statement. At the time, on December 30th, 2023, Mr. Allen took to social media and issued the following statement. They raided my house because there was a woman that came to my house. That woman claimed she was sexually assaulted, not by me, but other people. But it happened in my house. I'm going to tell you why they raided my house. I'm actually even tell you a whole story. Let me just tell you the full story. I'm telling you the full story. I'm going to tell you exactly what the cops say. The shorty I'm dealing with, she comes. You know what's really interesting too, by the way, if you guys remember at the time that this happened. Do you guys remember? Do you remember how, like, nonplussed he was that the rape? Like, imagine a rape happens in your house. How like distraught you would be. He didn't seem to really care that much. He was more bothered that his friends allegedly fucked her or something. Do you remember that? He didn't seem to be that bothered that a rape. I was like, that never really sat right with me. Like, oh, how are you okay with the rape just occurring in your house? And that's like normal. Somebody got sexually assaulted. Like, what? Like, that. I was like, I drunk at a party. I come home. I'm so drunk. I can't drive my own car. I walk upstairs to where my master bedrooms are, and I fall out. Y'all going to see what the lesson is in this. I just passed out. I forgot I Ubered the bitch to my crib. My nigga 9 a.m. comes. Remember, I'm at my crib at 9. 4 a.m. comes. I'm knocked out. 4 a.m. comes from my homie. I've never seen the girl. I'd never seen her. My homies wake up to me and some shit. Yo, Ak, we're leaving. I'm like, oh shit, damn, I'm so fucked. Damn, I'm so fucked up type of shit. Y'all be sleeping? They're like, yo, lock the door because we're leaving. I said, well, they're leaving. They're leaving at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. All right, I bet. I go lock the door. Then they say to me, while I'm locking the door, this is so unbelievable. This is definitely a lie. They woke you up and then told you, oh, by the way, we fucked your girl. Like, come on. Oh, by the way, the girl you invited, she's down there, the other end of the house in the guest bedroom. I looked at them. And I said, what girl? They said, bro, remember the girl you invited? I remember the girl I said, what are you talking about? They say, yo, you know, so-and-so. They describe her. I say, oh, shit. Anyway, they leave. I go out, walked out down the hallway towards the hallway. I go down to the hallway, the guest bedroom. First of all, she naked. First of all, she hair like she frizzy and shit. It's summertime. I'm like, I'm in the... Oh, I can't bother to read this shit, man. I can't bother. That guy's done. That guy's done. That guy's done, man. He's done. He's done. If he gets away with this, fair play to his lawyer. If he gets away with this, fair play to his lawyer. Because this is fucking extensive. If he gets away with this, fair play to his fucking lawyer. If he gets away with this, fair play to his fucking lawyer. If he gets away with this. Because I don't know about you, but that nigga sounds guilty. That nigga sounds hella guilty. No. And again, who knows? But that nigga sounds guilty. 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 Whew. Anyways, moving on. Let's see this one. BAPA'S new book discovered. Big up the Fire and the Kids subreddit, guys. BAPA'S new book discovered. I guess this is in response to Brendan saying that he's gonna write a book, but Ronda Rousey won't be in it. I find that hilarious too, by the way. That's a good clapback, isn't it? What a horrendous clapback. Ronda Rousey writes a book, includes you in it, and say you were a fucking shitty boyfriend and that you played mind games and that you weren't happy for her success, and then you say she won't be in my book as a defense. Honestly, Brendan's he's a gift that keeps on giving. Honestly, what a funny guy. You won't be in my book. It's like, can you maybe address the allegations that you were a hater and that you didn't want to be known as Brendan, Ronda Rousey's boyfriend? Bean cheese, bean cheese, bean cheese, bean cheese, bean cheese. Bean cheese, bean cheese, bean cheese.
Bean cheese, bean cheese. Hearing me?
Honestly, that's fucking brilliant. Emily. Oh, that's fucking brilliant, man. That was fucking brilliant. Thank you for that, guys. Honestly, we needed it. We needed that laugh to fucking, soften the blow. Only I could start a second stream and read in fucking grave detail and have video or screenshots of a fucking rape on the stream, and only I could do that, right? Only I could start a stream by reading fucking. Honestly, I apologize, guys. I didn't know it would be that graphic. I'm not gonna lie. Only I could do that. Only I could think that's actual good stream. Hey, let's read this fucking horrible sexual assault in detail. Fucking hell. Anyway, we cleanse the palate a bit there. Apologies for all of you who had to endure that. Honestly, I grape stream. Nah, let's not do that. Grape Nation. You guys want to be known as Grape Nation? You talk about Zinger Nation. Do you guys want to know about Grape Nation? Do you want to be Grape Nation? I'm depressed now. Sorry, Jordan Ray. Sorry for everybody there. Oh my god. Anyway. Let's play this clip. This one's funny, right? This one's funny. So this one says, if you ask BAPA who would win in a fight between himself and Joe Rogan, BAPA had to hold himself back for 2 minutes before he said he would kick the shit out of Joe Rogan. This is an interesting clip. Very, very interesting. Because I feel like Brendan would have never answered this question this way maybe a few years ago when him and Rogan were closer. But now they're not as close anymore. The gloves are off. As he likes to say sometimes. The gloves are off. Let's listen to Brendan Shaw pontificate about who would win in a fight between him and Joe Rogan. Let's listen to this. This is going to be very, very, very interesting to see play out for those of you who haven't seen it yet. It's the fucking hilarious clip. Let's get up on your screen so you can see it there. And let's play this bad boy because this is a funny one. This is a real good funny one. Let's go.
Good. I go, how would you do against him? And I remember you said, I'd imagine pretty well he's never competed. I said, I know. And he goes, I said, I know, but he's, you know, and he goes, hey,
it's just different.
I had to do it for a living, which means it's life and death for me. That guy does it in a classroom. It's just fucking different. It's just different.
And he goes, how would you do in a fight against Joe Rogan if kicks weren't allowed? And I went, excuse me? You know, his car show. And I went, what? And he goes, but if kicks weren't allowed, and I go, well, so in a boxing match? And he's like, no. And I go, wait, why wouldn't kicks be allowed? He's like, well, because Rogan's a really good kicker. And I went, right. I said, dude, nobody loves Joe Rogan more on this earth than me. I absolutely adore Joe Rogan.
Ask Joe that question.
I look Joe's, you know, my North Star. He's the best, one of the best human beings I've ever met. I said,
also the reason why you're here. See how he didn't say that, you know? And notice the difference in tone. He didn't say he's the reason why I have this career. He's the reason why I have this life. Like none of that. Just he talks about Joe as if he's some like acquaintance. Oh, he's a good friend. I like him. He's a great guy. My North Star, but he's like.
But you got to realize, dude, when you ask that question, you might as well. That's like me asking you, how would you do in stand up compared to Joe Rogan? And you're an open micer, and Joe's a professional. He goes, what do you mean? I go, can Joe kick? Absolutely, dude. For a guy who's never competed professionally, he can kick like a motherfucker. I mean, if you put him against any celebrity out there, he's gonna beat the shit out of him. Black belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't think he has any wrestling. Doesn't matter. He's jiu-jitsu. He kicks. I don't know how his boxing is. Doesn't matter. Like in that like regular civilian aspect, monster.
Yep.
I said, you got to realize though, I was ranked top 10 in the world
heavyweight
as
in the
a
US.
professional.
Heavyweight in the US.
I said, so it's just different. And he goes, and even after saying all, he goes, how would you do? I go, well, I'd beat the shit out of him, dude.
So an interesting reply. Now, I understand what he means, and I was obviously right. I think maybe this goes more to say, this more is an illustration of the terrible friends and acquaintances and people they bump into, and the fact that most of these men have the mental age of like a 10-year-old or a teenager, right? Because these are the type of conversations that you used to have when you were a kid. My dad can be up your dad, right? My brother can be up your brother. You know, just hypothetical fights between two people that don't even do the same thing. Fucking, I don't know who'd win between the fight. You know, I don't know, fucking Oprah or fucking George Bush. It's those type of dumb things that you think of when you're a kid, right? Cool. The thing about this I think is interesting is that, like I said before, I think a few years ago, when Brendan was in the bosom of Rogan, when Brendan was on Rogan all the time, highest individual appearances on there, was getting comedy store gigs because of Rogan, was getting on it sponsorships because of Rogan, and was just always around Rogan all the fucking time, I don't think he would have ever spoken about or explained himself the way he did at this length. He would have just dismissed it and laughed it off or something. But the fact that he even entertained it and said out loud, I'd beat the fucking shit out of Rogan, which he obviously would, because he's a fucking heavyweight. And obviously he fought pressure in the UFC. That obviously counts more than somebody that just hits pads and, you know, did taekwondo once when they were super, super young. Great. But I just find the fact that he answered it to be a sign that they are not where they were at one time. Another thing on this as well is that I feel like that question that somebody asked him is actually quite insulting to him, because that kind of question is almost as if the person's saying, I've seen you fight and I think Rogan could give you a run for your money. Even though you've been a professional in the fucking UFC, this person asking you that question is almost like they are intimating or hinting at the fact that they don't rate you as a fighter and they think you're terrible. That's the actual annoying thing about it. Brendan was so bad at fighting at the time he was in the UFC, people have a warped perception of how bad he was because he was really bad. But still, like he said before, in the grand scheme of things, he will still fuck up most people walking on the face of the earth because he fought professionally. And most people can't even fight anyway. The fact that he can fight, he fought professionally, even though he was bad, he's still better than most people. That's what people don't really understand. I think I said the same thing about tennis, right? Tennis rankings are really weird like that because there's so many good tennis players that sometimes people think, oh, this person's 300th in the world facing number 15. Number 15 is going to win. No. There's just a lot of people in between who are really good also. It doesn't mean the person 300th seed or 300th ranking in the world in tennis is terrible. It just means there's really good people out there. And also, the 300th ranked person could still fuck up most people in the world when it comes to tennis. So I think the same goes for fighters. But I think because we see them fight on TV and we see them gas out or we see them get knocked out, we just assume they're terrible. No. They're still going to fuck most of you up. But I think in Brendan's case, this is more people taking a piss out of him and basically not really respecting his time in the UFC. And this is also, what you got it? And this is also, what you got? Not AD casual MMA takes. And this is also, oh yeah, true. And this is also just proof that they hang, yeah, as Assad says, they just hang out with idiots. They hang out with absolute idiots. Like, this is the conversation they like to have with them. Who would win at a fight? It's like, what? Like, they hang out with absolute troglodytes, like numpties. Like, you know what I mean? Absolute dunderduns. Which makes you wonder why they have so much shit to say about the haters and the trolls. No troll or hater is going to ask you this dumb question. You know what I mean? They're going to give you some form of chat. Do you know what I mean? They're going to ask you, hey, what actually happened with Kalila? Do you know what I mean? They're going to ask you some actual, you know, good questions, not fucking who'd win between you in a fight, you or fucking Eric Griffin. You know what I mean? Fucking hell. But yeah, at least he answered it, which is again proof to me that him and Brendan or Rogan, sorry, are not where they once were, not where they once were. Continuing on from this one, let's do the clip that I didn't get through to watching before. So I said before, some person posted this on fucking the TFATK subreddit asking which one was worse out of Crystalia and Bryan Callen because of their perspective allegations. I said at the time, and I'll still repeat, I think Crystalia is worse than Bryan Callen because I think being a alleged pedophile is worse than being an alleged graper. Now, they're both horrible crimes, but I think Chris definitely would be the one that is the worst out of the two. And I'd also go as far as saying I would be more prone to believing that Bryan is the one with a sex addiction and willingness to just fuck anything that moves, as opposed to Crystalia. I think Crystalia allegedly, supposedly, based on my dumb opinion, might have a tendency to like girls who are underage. That's just my alleged opinion. Somebody doesn't know a jack shit. But I was saying before, I wonder if this, here's what I wonder. How would Bryan Callen and Crystalia's career have gone if they just came out and defended themselves the same way this guy defended himself after he got released from beating up his girlfriend? Domestic violence, horrible thing. He got a mugshot, everything, and he came out and defended himself on stream like this.
A mugshot and shit. Somebody talking about how I beat bitches and shit. Man, it is what it is. It is what the fuck it is. I don't give a damn. And if I beat bitches, so what? So motherfucking what? Be glad it ain't your mama, bitch. Alright? Cause your sister could be next, motherfucker. You better be happy that the bitch I'm beating ain't your bitch, nigga. Fuck wrong with you? I'll do it again. I'll fucking do it again. You think I'm supposed to be like one of these celebrities, nigga, who get up here talking about how they hit somebody and then they get up here and apologize and shit and talking about how they weren't in their right frame of mind? I was in my right frame of mind. I sure was. I was in my right. I never thought clear. After every single punch, nigga, I was thinking more clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer. It was unbelievable. Nigga, I don't give a fuck.
How would that have helped their career? How? I wonder, would their career been improved if they just came out and said, yeah, I did it. I raped that woman. Yeah, I did it. I sent those DMs to those underage girls. Would it have helped? Would it have helped them? I personally don't think so. I think the crimes are just heinous. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change or help anything. But I wonder if sometimes just being an unapologetic piece of shit actually helps. I wonder sometimes trying to convince people that you're a good guy actually doesn't work, doesn't help, makes things worse actually. Because we all know you're a piece of shit. We all know you're fucking evil. We all know you should be buried under the fucking jails. But these guys are convinced, especially Bryan, they're convinced they're the heroes of their own story when they're actually the villains. But if they maybe embraced the villain arc, they embraced the, you know, that evil side of them, maybe that would have helped. Because Bryan's spoken about, you know, how much women love rape. Do you remember? Bryan's got some very strange opinions about rape and shit. He seems to be into that sort of stuff. I think he's just into like forced shit. He'd be saying, oh yeah, like women have a propensity for rape and the most watched rape porn category. Like he has all those kind of weird anecdotes. You know those kind of anecdotes, so if your friend brings them up, you're like, bro, what? You know those anecdotes, like huh? I remember, do you guys remember that time, TFATK law check? TFATK law check. Do you guys remember that time when Bryan was obsessed with some book? There was like a book someone wrote a few years ago where it kind of detailed all of the sexual kinks that people have. And I think it had a chapter on what are the most, like, you know, what people are into, like based on fucking demographics and shit. Do you remember? And Bryan just would never stop shutting up about this book for like a few months. It was back in the day. I remember just listening to that. Why does this guy keep going on about this fucking book? Like, he wouldn't shut up about that book about, oh yeah, girls like this, girls like that. Like, oh yeah, the most seen porn category. Like, he would never shut up about that fucking book. So, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Either way, those guys are donezo. You gotta imagine, innit? It probably hurt them, innit? Hate to sign in and be a big up, my man. Yeah, big up. Yeah, big up Wolfgang Rittner. I've been so busy, sorry to be catching up. No problem, brother. No problem. This is the beauty of YouTube. Even if you're not here, you can always catch up on the streams later. Brandon says, looks like a warning poster for every LA school. Lols. Big up, Brandon. Appreciate you, brother. Andy Ward, they guilty for sure. Yep, for sure. That would be quite a villain arc to dive into. Yeah, big up Ace. Yeah, look, sometimes you gotta dive into the villain arc, man. Sometimes you gotta embrace the hill to be the hill. Sometimes you gotta be the hill. You know, it is what it is. Moving on. By the way, we need to add another lie to Brendan's docket. We need to add another celebrity sighting lie to Brendan's docket of celebrity sighting lies. This one's courtesy of the Fire and the Kids subreddit. Remember the time that Brendan crossed paths with Diddy? This totally happened, really no lie. Patrick Diddy also makes an appearance. So let's play this. Honestly, only Brendan could allege he had a story about bumping into fucking Diddy. Of course you did. This is back in the King and the Sting days, back when him and Theo were colleagues and friends. Since he got fucking Theo scammed with Podcast One, they don't talk anymore, allegedly. But let's see Brendan detail the story about him meeting Diddy. I'm curious to hear this actually.
He's got to be, there must be something really amazing about him.
I was at a gym one time in Hollywood and they kicked everybody out because he came in with his crew.
No way. And what'd you do? You hid under the water fountain?
No, I refused to leave.
Huge. All caps. Caps lock on, X to doubt. Caps lock on, X to fucking doubt. He was in some sort of gym. You're assuming a celebrity gym. Or some sort of gym, and Diddy was wanting to go, and he got everyone kicked. What? That happens sometimes in stores and shops and shit. Why would it happen in a gym? Why would a celebrity want everyone to leave a gym so they can work out by themselves? And why would you be the only one that says no? Huh?
Nice. And they let me stay.
Fuck
but then
yeah.
they eyeballed me for the rest of the time.
You lying ass bitch.
Exactly.
I'm the P. Diddy of comedy.
What? Why are you like? What a bizarre lie. And I bet you more than likely, I bet you this. Hear me out. I bet you this. I bet you he most likely heard this story from somebody else. A similar story. I bet you. And he just internalized it and said it happened to him, which is obviously a lie. But what a freak, man. What a freak. What a freak. It's so funny to see these stories because, like I said previous times, like you only hear these type of stories when you were a kid or when you like got your first jobs. And I think that's when you only meet those kind of liars, when you were a kid and when you got your first job, and then you meet someone at a workplace who was desperately trying to be liked and whatever, and they'd have these stories, these far-fetched stories about hooking up with like 10 models from Sweden on a night out, or that they bumped into fucking Jude Law at a wedding. You know what I mean? Those type of guys. But you know, after a while you'd be like, oh come on, stop chatting shit, and the person would like, you know, stop lying. But you don't really like expect to hear them like from a grown-ass adult. Like, I mean, you know what I mean, who's like got things and is maybe a little celebrity in his own regard. Like, why do you need to lie about these things? Like, why? It's so odd. And he always lies about, the thing I find it fascinating about Brendan, he lies about these celebrity encounters without any encouragement. Because I feel like he's again, this is me being charitable, but I feel like sometimes when people lie, like that guy that lied about being in the Twin Towers, that Steve Renazizi, whoever that fucking guy was, right, that comedian. When he explains the story, it makes some sense because it's during the whole outpouring of love and support with the whole Twin Towers thing and then 9/11. And I guess he gets asked a question. And in the question he gets asked, there's an element of the story that's true and there's an element that he adds as false, but it starts off as a kind of true-ish story, you know? So you get why he lied, because he was asked a question and he just wanted to be involved in the outpouring of grief and just lied about, you know, being in the Twin Towers. Obviously, later on, he got rumbled and kind of had to confess that it wasn't true. Brendan just says he met these, you know, celebrities and just doesn't, no one even asks him if he did. He just says, yeah, I met Kanye. Yeah, Kanye's my friend. Yeah, I saw Kim. Like all these like weird stories where you're like, bruh, come on, man. You're not that famous. Like, but yeah. Another example of Brendan lying. Another example of Brendan lying. By the way, let's play this clip. This is one of my favorite ones. Big up this clip. I think someone in the Fire the Kids subreddit shared this also. This one might be one of my favorite ones also. This is an old clip from, of all people, COFFEZILLA. So I guess COFFEZILLA's always had a bit of a, he's always been aware of Brendan because he made this clip. So we thought, us detractors, right? This little detractor community, this little Brendan Schaub hater community, we thought COFFEZILLA was only familiar with Brendan when he, you know, covered the whole Podcast One thing, the whole Cast Media scam. Nah, COFFEZILLA has been on Brendan from day dot. Look at this post he made about Brendan on April the 8th, 2021. YouTubers, when they're honestly talking about Raid Shadow Legends, when they get a YouTube sponsorship from Raid Shadow Legends. Play this clip.
Never been a big Mike Tyson guy. I haven't. I think he's way overrated.
He's the only man in the world that I would leave my studio to do a food truck with. He's the scariest man to ever enter the ring. It's Mike Tyson.
I don't even have him in my top 5 all-time heavyweights. There, I said.
Like, you're cemented, man. Like, you're good. Like, every person on this planet thinks Mike Tyson's one of the baddest motherfuckers to ever do it.
Name the best guy he's beat. Spinks and go. There we go. And then when he fought really good guys, he lost. Anyway.
It's pimp shit, nigga. It's all pimp shit. Same thing. It's weird they don't listen to you, though.
I don't care what he says. Who gives a fuck what Mike Tyson says, to be honest?
If Mike Tyson tells me something about boxing, I'm listening to Mike Tyson on boxing. I don't know why these young kids don't listen.
Never been a big Mike Tyson guy. I haven't. I think he's way
One more
overrated.
time.
He's the only man in the world that I
One
would
more
leave
time.
my studio to do a food truck with. He's the scariest man to ever enter the ring. It's Mike Tyson.
I don't even have him in my top 5 all-time heavyweights. There, I said.
Like, you're cemented, man. Like, you're good. Like, every person on this planet thinks Mike Tyson's one of the baddest motherfuckers to ever do it.
Name the best guy he's beat. Spinks and go. There we go. And then when he fought really good guys, he lost. Anyway,
It's
Pimp shit, nigga. It's all pimp shit. Same thing.
It's weird they don't listen to you, though.
I don't care what he says. Who gives a fuck what Mike Tyson says? To be honest,
If Mike Tyson tells me something about boxing, I'm listening to Mike Tyson on boxing. I don't know why these young kids don't listen.
never been a big.
Honestly, Brendan. Yeah, copies his homers. Brendan is awful, innit? Brendan is awful, man. Brendan is awful. Brendan is awful. Oh my god, bro. I never rated Mike Tyson. Never liked him. He's a fucking awful heavyweight. Shit guy. Like, yo, big up Uche. What was that? I'm sorry, but is Brendan wearing a... Really? Is that a Jelly Roll Varsity? No way is that a Jelly Roll Varsity. Is that Jelly Roll Varsity? That might actually be a Jelly Roll. Yeah, you're right. But I don't think he met Jelly Roll back then. I don't know. Is that a Jelly Roll Varsity jacket? Yeah, it is. Oh my god. Did he meet Jelly Roll back then or was it before? I feel like he met Jelly Roll recently. This is ages ago. Fucking hell. He's really slobbing on Jelly Roll's fucking knob, innit? Jelly Roll Varsity jacket. I didn't even notice that. Oh my god. Jelly Roll Varsity jacket. Okay, I guess. Look at that. Yeah, it's there. You can see it in full HD. Jelly Roll. Oh, wearing Jelly Roll merch. But I wonder... No, I don't think he sold. He can't have sold that, did he? Where's that necklace that Brendan used to wear? Remember Brendan was like in his rapper phase and he bought that necklace. He did like, you know, rappers have that necklace they wear where they put like their family photo in like a circle and it's like a diamond chain. He used to have that with his sons, innit? He don't wear it no more, does he? I wonder if he sold that as well. When he sold these Porsches and shit to raise money. You don't see him wearing that often anymore. He had that little chain, I think, with one of his kids. Maybe it was Tiger, the favorite. He had a little chain like that with his face on it. Where's that gone? But anyway, moving on. Oh, you want to hear some Brendan Schaub comedy? His joke about free ecstasy pills is a classic. Yeah, let's do this one. This was a good one, right? Let's do this one. This is somebody recording secret footage. I've always wondered, is this material the material that never made it to the Gringo Pappy? Because you remember BGL shared that nice bit of fucking info with us when he went on his promo run for hating Brendan, and he shared the info that Gringo Pappy was actually an hour long. It was meant to be an hour long special, but he cut it down to 30 minutes. So I wonder if this was some of the material that was left on the cutting room floor from the Gringo Pappy, because we never heard this in the special. I wonder why we didn't hear this particular joke in the special.
Mama took the 2 kids the other day, and BTS was live on MTV, favorite band, and I thought, what would make this better? If I was high as shit on Etsy, this would be fantastic. So I go open my sock drawer. A friend of mine gave me Etsy, I don't know.
By the way, I know you can hardly hear it and the sound is terrible. It's not me. It's just a recording of the guy in the crowd. But have you noticed how fast he talks on stage? He doesn't talk that fast on podcast though. Why does he talk so quick? Obviously it's shit comedy and he's terrible at it, but take a breath, bro. Like, relax. Let your words or your sentences breathe. He's literally out of breath. It's like, you can't even laugh at what he's saying because he's just steamrolling through the sentence.
3 years ago, I don't think it expires. We'll find out. So I popped one little pill. 30 minutes goes by. I feel nothing, Houston. I feel fucking nothing. Like, dude, Bubba, you're way too thick for one pill, daddy. You gotta double down, amigo.
And that voice inflection thing. That voice, that thing that he does, that thing. What is that? It's for the best, isn't it? It's for the best he quit stand up, isn't it? It's for the best. It's for the best, man. It's for the best. It's for the best. Because no one deserves this. No one deserves to pay £20 pounds to get in. Whatever you have to pay for drinks, whatever you have to pay for your babysitter, whatever you have to pay for your fucking cloakroom, whatever you have to pay for your fucking 8-ball, your drinks, your food. No one deserves to be bombarded or subjected to this level of stand-up. No one. No one.
So I go back up in that sock drawer, I pop 2 more pills. That's 3 ecstasy pills for those of you that struggle with counting. That's 3 fucking ecstasy pills. Another 3 minutes goes by, and it hits Houston. And it hits hard. Oh my God, why did they tell your boy? I've never felt so goddamn good in my life.
I also think there's something incredibly lame about a man in their mid-30s to early 40s trying to make a joke of having an ecstasy pill. It's a bit lame. Like admitting the first time you take ecstasy was when you're in your mid-30s on stage. Like, that's funny. You meant to be cool. It's like Rogan. I'm glad Rogan stopped. Like Rogan, I don't know about you guys if you notice that he doesn't talk about weed as much. Remember when Rogan was like Mr. Pothead and he's like 50? Like, bruh, relax. Weed is good, weed is fun, we get it, but relax. Brendan kind of bragging about taking ecstasy pills, which he didn't take, by the way. This is definitely a made up story. For sure, this is 100% made up. It's like, huh?
It was like every cell in my body was a bumping and a grinding. I was like, this is how R. Kelly feels all the time. Fuck yeah, dude. I remember I was so high, I spent 45 minutes just rubbing my legs. That's all. You got some juicy ass thighs, amigo. I'll tell you that right fucking now. No more drugs with Big Man though. Yeah.
He's got these 2 ladies at the front, these little blondies, these little mums. They seem to be laughing. I wonder if part of comedy is just getting on stage and just saying things and moving around and people just laugh. Because it's like, what is he saying that's funny there? People actually are like, or maybe it's just seeing somebody do stuff on stage, you know? It's just like, look at that. There's a human. Bless him, you know? Because he's not saying anything funny.
My night ended to me jacking off to my own feet. That's how my night ended.
What? What was that last bit?
Man, though, yeah. My night ended to me jacking off to my own feet. That's how my night ended.
My night ended with me jacking off to my own feet. I took ecstasy, 3 pills by accident. And the joke is that you ended up jacking off on your feet. How's that fun? Where's the joke in that? Okay. Part of me sometimes thinks he gave up with stand-up, innit? Oh, loser, you gave up. You didn't try. At the first real hurdle that you got where you weren't selling tickets, you just gave up and you waved the white flag. Brendan should have tried harder. I keep using the example of the Kill Tony shit. We see all the, we've watched Kill Tony a few times on the stream and we've seen the different, how terrible basically most open micers are. And it's, especially we've seen how terrible some established comedians are. So some of us come to believe, oh yeah, Brendan should still do stand-up because he's not as bad as those guys. He can still have a career. But sometimes you listen to him, you think, you know what? Maybe it's for the best that he stopped. Even though he's maybe better than some open micers and some Kill Tony people, that also isn't a good barometer for success. That isn't a good gauge to, you shouldn't be judging or you shouldn't be basing your career projections on, am I better than a Kill Tony open micer? You know what I mean? Especially when you got introduced to stand-up via Rogan at the Comedy Store. You know what I mean? Like with the Showtime special, you probably should be aiming a bit higher than that. But fuck, this guy is terrible, man. The lack of first of all, it's just being unable to pronounce words is probably one of the hardest things he's ever gonna have to overcome. doing any sort of public speaking. He can't enunciate himself properly, right? Of course. Then the whatever speech impediment, the marble mouth thing is going on, the rushing through the words thing, he's got that juvenile thing where he thinks voice inflections equal funny. He thinks gay equals funny, sass equals funny, zest equals funny. It's like, all right, I guess. And all these jokes have to involve dicks. I was jacking off. I jacked off. I come this, that. I got a boner. I was hot. Like, bro, there's every one of your jokes revolve around you getting a boner. Like, it's everyday boner day. Okay, I guess so, man. I guess every day is boner day. Fucking hell. Whew. Anyways, moving on from that one. We did that. We did the fucking Dalia stuff. We did this. We did that. Oh, let's do this one. Let's do YURY quickly, and then we're gonna jump on some other Brennan stuff. YURY has beef. Yes, you read that right. Yes, you heard that right. YURY from No Jumper has beef with this guy called SYXX, who's part of Back on Fig extended universe of people, right? He does like Back on Fig stuff. He hangs out with those guys a bit, sometimes community stuff, but whatever. And you know, for lack of a better term, bless him, but he's not really thought of too highly. You know, he comes in and out, he's there. But I guess him and YURY had some sort of like joint stream together, and it didn't go too well. Just watch this clip, right? SYXX threatens YURY. So I'm curious to see what happens here, because this is another grown man who isn't a woman, who isn't a neighbor, who isn't some troll online. I'm curious to see how YURY handles this, because I would like nothing more than to see YURY get punched square in the face. That would bring me great pleasure to see him cry on stream with a bloody nose. That would be so great to see. So I'd be curious to see if this transpires into some sort of fight. Let's play the clip. SYXX threatens YURY.
You asked me to do some freaky shit. Harmonious Diddy. Like, hello, brother. What is that? What is that about? Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. What you got going on? What kind of freak shit? YURY. What kind of freaky shit you got going on? Why are you walking away, dude? Is it a torch? Why are you walking away? YURY. I will light your ass the fuck up. What?
So as you can see there, YURY comes back. They're in the room streaming, having a good time, and I guess you know, white boy humor. When you can't make jokes, you just make everything into a sexual innuendo, and you act gay, I guess. So I guess he touched the guy on the back. You know, hyper masculine black dudes in America, you know, any type of physical touch from another man equals they want to suck your dick. So he gets angry, and they have this kind of playful back and forth banter thing, right, where they're kind of fucking around. Okay, cool. That seems kind of it doesn't seem that much of a big deal. Well, YURY then jumps on stream and says and does this, right? When people start to troll him about the whole SYXX thing, look at how YURY replies about the whole situation, right? Listen to this.
Guys, SYXX is a little bitch. SYXX is a little bitch. Oh, yo, chat, you guys want to see SYXX? Oh my god, bro, wait, hold on. You guys want to see SYXX? Hold on, where's SYXX at? This is SYXX. Oh my god. What SYXX? What?
You know what's really funny? You know what's really funny about YURY? He even fucks the air like shit. So it'd be one thing if, like, you know, RYLEE was with this loser, this fucking bozo, this fucking heroin addict looking dude, and you know, he was laying pipe, he was getting it in, yeah, he was making her happy every time they fucking, you know, got together and had adult time. But he even looks like he fucks like shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? He's moving like an old man. Like, how old is he? Isn't he meant to be in his 20s? Why is he moving like he just why is he like humping the air like he just got done spraying his joints with WD-40? Like, what's wrong with this human? So anyway, Yuri did say fuck SYXX on the stream, so I'm curious to see, will this kid want to fight him? Because you know how LA guys are, you know how American dudes are. They're very prideful, hyper masculine dudes who have a problem with people testing their gangster and calling them pussy. And the fact that he tried to, like, you know, play some gay games on him, I'm curious to see if this SYXX guy will be angry enough to do what we all want to happen. I wonder if this guy will be angry enough to do what the whole internet would love to see. And it's not RYLEE breaking up with Yuri. I think Yuri's got this weird obsession with everybody wanting his girlfriend. I don't think most people even want her, especially after he's dealt with her, because she, for lack of a better term, she's kind of damaged goods. And the fact that she loves you is definitely a bad indictment on her. Do you know what I mean? The fact that she's in love with this guy is like, it makes her look horrible. Most of the internet, myself included, we want to see this guy get punched in the nose. We want to see him cry on camera. We want to see him battered and bruised, lumped up, eye closed. Like, we want to see him really get punched up. So I'm wondering, will this young man do the whole internet a favor and get really angry about this really innocent, not really big deal of a situation, and just want to punch him up? Because I'd love to see it. I'd love to see Yuri get fucked up. It'd be so funny. Just as a joke though, as a prank, as a joke, as a prank. It'd be funny to see him getting kicked in the head by somebody. Get punched in the head, get elbowed, get drop kicked. It'll be so fucking funny. It really would. It really fucking would. I would love nothing more than to see that happen. I swear to God. Really would like to see it. But hey, you know, maybe I'm wishing on a star. Maybe I'm wishing on a star. Big up. What's that? Big up. Is it Assad, I think, right? They were trying to use this to deflect the internet from the fact that Compa and Serenos on his ass on some real life issues. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully that is the case. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully that's the case. Even if he doesn't, you know what? Even if he doesn't get beaten up, I would want Yuri to just to come in danger, just to realize that you can't play with everybody forever and just hide behind your desk. Like, you're not academics. You don't have the money to protect yourself. You're around. You're a bit of a loser. Like, you need to move carefully. You need to move with caution, with some regard. So, yeah. I don't know. Big up. I don't know why this showing. Sorry, pardon me a second. I'll get this up on my thing. Why is it not showing on the stream? Why can't I see it on the stream? Oh, big up. Okay, cool. That's you. Big up Assad. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, my friend. I just read that out, didn't I? I read that out. Let me see if I can get this up on here as well. And then we can continue and move on, my brothers and sisters. If you're enjoying the stream as well, make sure you like the stream down below. If you're enjoying the stream, please make sure you like the stream down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Please make sure you like the stream down below if you're enjoying it. Like the stream down below if you're enjoying it. I think I read out all the things, didn't I? Oh, that's injury. Yeah, cool. I read it all out. Cool. Let's move on. Next clip. Okay, they're calling him Peter Panios 12. This everyone at No Jumper still hiding under his desk. Okay, cool. Let's see this one. So I guess RYLEE is back. Is this a new video? I think this is a new clip. I guess RYLEE is back. So for a period in time, RYLEE left and went to go visit her family in San Francisco. Some people were helping. So some people were hoping that she was doing that thing that sexually abused women do, or just abuse women, where they say they're gonna visit family and then never come back. Some people were assuming that was to be the case, but you know, like I said before, they're actually a match made in heaven. They're actually two sides of the same coin. They're two losers. I just think people have more sympathy with RYLEE, his girlfriend, because they think she's attractive. But I don't think, if they really were being honest and really looked at it closely, they'd see that they both deserve each other. And they clearly, oddly enough, even though they both treat each other like shit on stream, especially Yuri to RYLEE, they actually do love each other. That's a really sad, pathetic thing about the whole situation. So I don't think she was going to run away. Anyway, She looks like she's back. Let's play the clip and see what Yuri's talking about.
Back and they did.
Someone named Mr. Datway9 said, defamation question mark? No,
For what?
No Jumper, right, has complete control of the hold on, babe, let me finish. No Jumper has complete control of No Jumper Reddit. What has been on that Reddit for the past month and more? Nothing but ex-employees, because all the current employees are fucking retards that have no content ability. All the current employees of No Jumper are fucking retarded. They have no content abilities. They have no
content abilities. What does that even mean? What's a content ability? Content ability. What the fuck does that even mean? And the Reddit is like, whatever.
interest with amongst the audience. All they can do is do coke, relapse, and fucking I don't know, crash out basically just for content. Suck my dick.
Don't you do the same thing with weed? And you also crash out.
You defamation? Suck my dick. Go to the Reddit, get our names out of there, dude. Also, if we're speaking,
so Yuri is more upset that their names get mentioned in the Reddit. His name and his girlfriend's name only gets brought up on a Reddit. Mostly, from what I understand and from what I have observed, because he treats his girlfriend like shit on stream. He treats his girlfriend like shit on stream. He abuses her. He gaslights her. You know, he's just a cunt to her online. People clip it because it's funny to watch them crash out together, and people have a laugh about it. Simple as that. If he stopped treating her like shit, guess what? They'd stop posting about her because his normal content isn't entertaining. No one posts up him reacting to stuff or him talking about things in the news because no one gives a fuck. They only give a fuck when he crashes out, and he crashes out all the time because he's a fucking idiot.
If we're,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if we want to talk about defamation, stop, because that fool is
Defamation. This is the girl that you guys are trying to save. She's maybe dumber than Yuri. She says defamation.
Speaking of, if we're, yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we want to talk about defamation, stop, because that fool is still talking about me when.
Defamation.
Stop, because that fool is still.
Exactly.
Yeah, if we want to talk about defamation.
She definitely dropped out of high school, innit? She definitely might even. Yeah, she definitely dropped out of high school. I don't think this girl went in college.
Stop, because that fool is still talking about me when I have nothing to do with that fool.
Oh, we're speaking on defamation. How about this one? Check out the pinned post on No Jumper V2 Reddit. The pinned post on the No Jumper V2 Reddit is very interesting for anyone watching this. Go.
And by the way, he keeps mentioning that because the No Jumper V2 Reddit has a pinned post that has a, links to all the Adam 22, Adam 16 allegations. That's why I keep mentioning it, which is funny because you want to get your name mentioned, removed from the stream or from the Reddit, but then you keep mentioning his allegations. You treat your girl like shit online. We keep whatever mudslinging.
Check it out. Fucking a lot of information on there.
Let's go. I would love to go to court with that fool.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Because I really, I would fucking love it.
Pinned post, NJ No Jumper V2 Reddit. Check out that pinned post.
Does he know that they post a lot of shit on him about him on the No Jumper V2 Reddit too? Does he know that? Is he aware that he also gets absolute ragdolled on the No Jumper V2 Reddit too?
Trust me, try me. I'm not the one to fuck with.
What's the pinned post? Go check it out, Eduardo. Go to No Jumper go to Reddit, type in No Jumper V2, and look at the pinned post. See what you see. Let me know. I'm watching No Jumper still, although it's funny. Yeah, it's fun to watch someone relapse.
Yeah. And that the fucking leader of that is so against that type of shit, but then he's having a person doing that on his show. It's
funny,
crazy
right?
Because he usually talks shit about anybody who is in that kind of state of mind.
Imagine working for someone who hates your guts.
Crazy.
That's sad, bro. That's sad. Imagine working for someone who fired you publicly and then hates your guts.
You know what's funny about this whole firing thing, by the way, and this is one part of the reason this is something that I've just realized recently, actually. You know, when I started to not like Yuri as a content creator, as a streamer, oddly enough, I didn't know nothing about RYLEE, really. I've never actually seen much of her. I started to not like Yuri the moment he stayed at No Jumper after RYLEE got fired. I was like, surely you have to be ride or die with your girl. If your girl gets fired from the same place that you're working at, you fucking resign. You quit on the spot too. Fuck this shit. Even if she got fired for justifiable reasons, even if she got fired, you know, and it was fucking her fault, fuck it, you ride together. We're both getting fired. This guy stayed there like a fucking simp, like a cuck, while his girl was fired and fighting for her life on the back at home. On you know what I mean? Like, imagine going, like, you both were going to work together, then one of you keeps going, and then you're coming back and you're trying not to talk about work because it was fun, you had a good time and shit. You know what I mean? That's when I started to think, this guy's a fucking loser, isn't it?
And they want to talk shit about our fights on camera and like how we act on camera, but that fool literally got fired, embarrassed as fuck.
They're talking about Lush, by the way. RYLEE, that's what I'm saying. RYLEE is beyond help. RYLEE is now trying to equate or trying to suggest that Lush getting fired from No Jumper and going back is more embarrassing than her getting ridiculed and chastised in front of millions of people, having, you know, what's his face, Moist Critical talk about them and how pathetic her boyfriend was, and people be worried about her, sending her family and herself DMs about, you know, whatever is happening with them domestically. That allegedly, what Lush did was worse than what they're going through. I don't know, man. I think it's worse what you're going through. It's going to be a long... she's probably going to have to disappear from the internet to repair her reputation. She looks awful online. Like, I don't know if she's aware of how she's being perceived and how bad and toxic this relationship is and how bad it is for both of them. But I don't know, man. Lush decided to go back to No Jumper and sit down with Adam 16 and shit. I don't think is as bad as you guys constantly fighting on stream. I don't know.
Also on live with like a couple thousand people watching, and he went back to go work for
the person who hates him the most.
The pedophile.
Yeah, the pedophile.
Don't you guys hate each other the most?
The worst person ever. Fucking ex-fatty who wants to call me a fatty. Fucking ex-fatty.
You know what's really sad? I've heard some people suggest on the Reddits, they've called her what's that name? Somebody in the stream chat know. Who's that young girl that unfortunately got killed by her boyfriend? I think it was during COVID in a caravan. I think she was like one of those caravan girls. You know, the ones that sleep in their caravans and vlog about it. And her boyfriend was the one that killed her. He said he didn't, and then they found out he did. They call her that. They say that she's going to be the next that. They say YURY might do that to her. That's what they say online. So, yeah. Is Lush a bit of a loser? Yeah. But I don't know, man. I think what you guys are going through is far worse.
Well, what happened to his wife who had to sell her body to sell the company?
Keep going on. Like,
yeah, it's so that whole company is fucking depressing. I'm sorry, Uber driver. You have to listen to all that. I'm sorry, dude. We were crashing out right now. We're drunk, and we're annoyed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's the one. Big up Josie. Gabby Petito, Gabby Petito, yeah, exactly. That's the one. That young lady. They call RYLEE that, you know. Bit wild to say, a bit insane. But that's what they say to her about RYLEE. They say that that's gonna be the next Gabby Petito fucking situation. Either way, all losers. They all deserve each other. I'm enjoying the crash out from the sidelines, but I think people out there that are giving them advice and trying to steer in the right direction, you're wasting your time. Even if you are well-intended, you're wasting your time. People that are in abusive relationships, unfortunately, it takes a while for them to like pull away. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. And, you know, to be fair, I don't really care what happens. I'm not going to lie. Don't give a fuck. Moving on. Let's play. We did this. Oh, let's play actually. Well, what haven't we done? Let's do. Yeah, exactly. Big up Josie, exactly. I didn't even think about that. Don't be sorry. Leave a fat tip. Exactly. What tip? Do you think these guys tip? Let me fucking subject this driver to like 30 minutes of our stupid, you know, weed-addled, dumb nonsense fucking conversation. But yeah, tip. What tip? There's no fucking tip, man. They pay he probably sits there waiting for the change. Yuri's definitely the type to hand the fucking driver a couple of bucks and then wait for the fucking change. That's the type of guy he is. There is no tip. He's waiting for the fucking change. He's hand that as well. Actually, it was $17.59. I gave you 18. Like, you fucking div. He's definitely the type to sit there and wait for his fucking. Oh yeah, he's the worst. He's the fucking worst. Anyway, let's move on. We did quite a bit already, haven't we? We did quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie, we did quite a bit. Let me see if there's anything else I need to kind of cover here before we jump on to some other shit. We did quite a bit already. Okay, cool. Let's do. Should we do Golden Hour or Podcast Cringe? What should we do? Golden Hour or Podcast Cringe? Golden Hour or Podcast Cringe? Let's do this, yeah. Let's do this one. The old Brazilian homies running a train on your girl. So this is an old post that somebody uploaded onto the Friday Kids sub. This is an old TFATK episode. As you can see, Brendan and Brian looking way more fresh faced, looking way more svelte, looking way more happy. They have a lot more elasticity in their faces. They just look like, you know, two different people, right? Basically. Some years ago, so obviously it makes sense. But I remember this story, and this is obviously come to light because of the whole Ronda Rousey thing. So I'm curious to know, do we think he's talking about Ronda Rousey? Because I don't really know of any other public relationships that he had. Maybe he might be talking about Whitney, but I think him and Whitney were on the DL. I don't think that was known. But he mentioned the story, I remember a couple of times, they stopped talking about it. But this is a really interesting story to bring up. So I wonder if this is about Ronda. I'm not too sure. Listen to this story. This is from many years ago on TFATK.
I told you, I've told it years ago on the podcast. That girl I was dating forever, and we're trying to make it work. This is years and years ago, not even close. And she came up, she was living in another state, came here, and she left her iPad unlocked. I went and saw that email, said XXX.
I remember this.
We're trying to work things out. You remember this? I told you the next day.
I remember it very well.
The hardest thing, no one else knows this. I mean, obviously all our fans know. No one else close to me knows this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she was sleeping. She came in, she was exhausted. We haven't seen each other in forever, trying to make things work. And I see her iPad.
Actually thinking about maybe kind of, you know,
the real deal.
Yeah, maybe like kind of really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Move her out here.
we have to give this out. Yeah, like maybe you move her in. Maybe you give this a shot. Maybe this is the one. Maybe after all this time, we really make a go for it. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
She falls asleep.
This is first night.
iPad's out, and I'm like, I don't really fuck with electronics because I don't want to work more when I'm home. I'm like, iPads are cool. I've never had one. Let me scroll through it. So I hit, and it's just unlocked. Just hit it, and I hit it, and her email's open. I'm like, goddamn, her email's open. I didn't know how to mess with it, but then just curious George here. I'm like, yeah, it's very clear. It says XXX pics. I'm like, the fuck is that, like a porno or something?
I've got to see that.
So I'm like,
there's not a man in the
are
world
you awake?
or a woman in the world that wouldn't.
Doesn't answer. That's consent. Click, click. Old. That's consent where I come from in Denver. Click the old clickety click.
Oh no. Oh no.
There's some stuff that will be forever burned into your memory. There was the old Brazilian homies running a train on your girl will fuck your day up.
That's right. That's right.
I was like, I mean, granted, we were separate, not talking. I was just like, click.
Good looking fella. Good looking fella with a piece on him.
Good looking fellers. Good looking fellers.
Okay, so now why am I a little turned on right now, though?
Yeah, me too, a little bit.
I mean,
but so
what I mean is a lot.
Oh, you want to talk about broken? I mean, your heart goes.
Oh,
and I'm like, well, no, this is over. Thank you, big man upstairs, because that's as clear as day as ending this thing.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, well, she needs a rest, so I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'm just gonna get some sleep. I'm up all night like this.
Of course you are.
As soon as 6 a.m., she's on East Coast time. 6 a.m., she's like, oh, what time? I was like, hey! I didn't sleep a wink. She's like, well, I'm like,
you cannot wait.
No. I just told her, and she's like, oh. I'm like, so probably just leave.
Oh.
Now. Remember, I saw you the next day. Next morning, like, what happened? I told you, like,
you look shell shocked.
It's just, I don't know, you don't expect that, man.
No, that's a hard one.
That's
They say in a relationship.
So what do you think? Was that Ronda Rousey? because it did happen. By the way, look at the difference in when he tells a story that's true, when he tells a story that's a lie. It's completely different, you know. And obviously, there's evidence because he told Brian at the time, so we have some, you know, he corroborated the story in the timeline. But it's a completely different way that he speaks when he's telling an actual real story. So I wonder, did this happen? Did this fucking happen or not? And if it did happen, was it Ronda Rousey? It's a bit of a fucking weird thing to say, right? Especially considering her celebrity. To put that out there on blast is a bit wild, because he should have known at the time. People would assume it's Ronda because that's the only public girlfriend everyone kind of knows of his. It's kind of wild to put out there, so I'm assuming it probably has to be Ronda Rousey. You know? I wonder who it is. I wonder. And also a wild thing to talk about whilst you're currently married and with kids and shit in it as well. Just as a aside, by the way, is because, you know, the last thing you want, I don't know about you guys, but even if you're broken up, you don't want your current wife trying to do reverse timeline searching as a figuring out, okay, how old were you? Do you know what I mean? Like, you just don't want to put that information, so just keep it yourself. So the fact that he's even sharing this on the podcast is a bit insane. It's a little bit insane, you know? Sharing this like this is a little bit insane, but hey, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm not the one. Who fucking knows? Either way, that story is fucking wild. Absolutely wild. But now thinking of it, it could be Ronda. Plot twist, it was Whitney Cummings. Maybe, who knows? Who fucking knows? How does he have 3 kids with no balls? That's hilarious. Why is his kneecap so damn big? Yeah, I didn't even notice that, by the way, but the kneecaps being big is funny. But yeah, what can you do? What can you do? Who knows what happened? We don't know. I've seen some. What do you guys talk about? Something about Iran. What happened? I saw. What did the Iran president die or something? Right? What happened? I guess this is broken in the time that I've been online. Oh shit! Yeah. Damn. The Iranian president died, I guess. Shit. No sign of life at crash site. A helicopter carrying Iranian's president. Life is starting to become way more crazy than Hollywood, right? Just the other day, wasn't the Slovakian prime minister shot 5 times? Is it right? Is it Slovak prime minister shot? Is he still alive or not? Or these PM may not have been in Lone Wolf Miss. What's that? Okay, how can he got shot close range and his life's not in danger? Okay, cool. So he seems to be okay. The Slovak PM got shot close range, and now the Iranian president has passed away in a helicopter crash. Oof. Reuters rescuers will reach helicopter in a few minutes. Search teams locate wreckage site. State media. No clarity but familiar stage being set. Iranian's poor aviation safety record. Turkish drones route. God almighty. False images and misleading rumors. Of course. I'm not gonna lie. Flying in a helicopter in Iran must be a situation and a half. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You got, I don't know, not to judge and shit, but there's some countries where you're not gonna fly in a helicopter. I think Iran might be one of them. I don't know about you, but fucking hell. R.I.P. to him, President Raisi. Fucking hell, that is horrendous. Yeah. Fuck. What could this mean for Iran? Many around the world are closely watching the developments in Iran, wondering will there be significant changes to Iran's policies in the region if President Ibrahim Raisi were to be harmed? The short answer is not much. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's leader, expressed hope that the president and accompanying officials will return to safety in the nation. He requested prayers for them and assured the Iranian people not to worry. In the eyes of most Iranians, it is supreme leader and Islamic cleric guards who make major political foreign policy decisions. Rashi is one of the most conservative presidents Iran has ever had and is very close to the supreme leader. He also is one of the serious contenders to succeed Iran's supreme leader. However, instability could certainly affect the economy. Following the announcement of the news, the Iranian rial plummeted against the US dollar. Shit. Big up Assad. The Tunnel Boys had something to do with this. And by Tunnel Boys, he means the Jews. Big up Assad Aziz. Legend. The Tunnel Boys. Oh, fucking hell, mate. Fucking hell. Alright, so we did quite a few bits and bobs already. Maybe let's play one more before I have to bounce, my friends. Let's do one golden hour clip. I think let's get a golden hour clip on here. We did that, we did this. Yeah, let's just get that one. And in today's installment of things that didn't happen, let's see this one. This is a golden hour clip. Let's see this golden hour clip. Stuff that didn't happen. Let's see this. What happened here? What happened here?
Story time. I was working before I was doing all this. I was working for this dude, this older rich dude. He looked kind of like that, and he had like a company party in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I get to the party, and I was like the janitor of the supplement company. Basically, everyone treated me like shit. But when I get there, they go, "Hey, yeah, good." When I got there, they treat me like a Mexican. But when I got there, they go, "Hey, don't say anything about homeboy's face. He just got a facelift. He just got done like 2 days ago. It's real juicy and wet. Like you can see the cuts." And I go, "Okay, no doubt." So I get there. It's like a little bit of blood. Like it's so juicy. I'm like, "Oh, this is terrible." And we're just got to pretend nothing happened. So I see him like, "What's up, dude?" He's like, "What's up?" It's a party, right? And then one of the girls that they hired there knew him. She's like, say his name's Richard. She's like, "Oh my God, Richard." She didn't get the memo. Runs at him. Jumps on, and he's an older dude, jumps on him to like hug him, like with her legs wrapped around him. Right. Dude, but he can't, he's not strong enough to hold her up. She goes, "Oh no," and grabs his ears.
Who's this idiot chick? Jumping on an 80-year-old guy?
And
I guess.
His face comes off?
Dude. Kink, kink. Blood, ears, hair.
Oh my God. He's such a fucking liar. What the fuck is that story? Some guy you worked for who was the owner of a supplement company. They treat you like the janitor, but you were what? If you were to treat like the janitor, what were you? What was your role for this company? Ambassador, bouncer, security. What were you doing for them? You went to a party where you were there, and that person had just got a facelift the day before. They went to a party with their face bleeding. They had no idea the face was bleeding. Some girl jumps on this old man, and then when she's falling back to kind of balance herself, she pulls the guy's ears. What? Which then makes the face rip off from his, like, did he watch Face Off or something recently? Is that why he's saying this story? Did he fucking watch Face Off? And now he's trying to like, oh my fucking God, this guy, bro.
That's great. I don't believe this story,
Dude,
though.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have to leave. I would be
Is
like,
that the Palms in
I don't know what
Vegas?
this party is.
For once, Eric, thank you, Eric Griffin. For once, Eric, thank you, Eric Griffin, for being the fucking voice of reason. I don't believe this story. Thank you.
Hair.
That's great. I don't believe this story,
Dude,
though.
Yeah.
I would have to leave. I would be
It was
like,
at the Palms in Vegas.
I don't know what this party is.
It was at the Palms in Vegas.
This would be me. I would have my drink.
Hold on. Did he say I don't believe, or I had to leave? Please, Eric, did you please help me out and say you don't believe the story? Please say you don't believe it. Did you say I don't believe it? I know it's to leave.
Ears.
Who's this idiot chick? Jumping on an 80-year-old guy?
And his
I guess.
His face comes off?
Dude. Kink, kink. Blood, ears, hair.
That's great. I don't believe this story,
Dude.
though.
Yeah.
Good. I said I don't believe this story though. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. For once, thank you. I hate how you're resting your hands on your belly like that, but thank you. I hate that hat. Thank you. I hate the hoodie. Thank you. And I hate your face, but thank you for that. I really do thank you for saying that. It needed to be said. Thank you, Eric Griffin.
I would have to leave. I would be
It was
like,
at the Palm. It was at the Palms in
I don't know what
Vegas.
this party is.
It was at the Palms in Vegas.
This would be me. I would have my drink and I would be like, so anyway, guys, we because we're not supposed to mention it.
I drink mojitos on it.
My life, if you would have told me 10 years ago what I'd be doing to pay the bills, I would have laughed in your face.
Yeah. Now you played pro ball?
Yeah, pro football. I don't know if you know Brian. Brian's the guy where you meet him and he would give you the shirt off your back and he will trust you. He would give you his wallet.
It's interesting you said.
Wow, bro. I know it's a long time ago, but look how different Brendan looks, man. He's definitely an advertisement for, like, you know, moderation and shit, innit? And getting your vices in control. Look at the picture of Jamie Foxx behind him. But fucking hell, his deterioration over the years has been fascinating to watch. Look at what he used to look like. Look at him. Look at chiseled face, cheekbones. Yeah, she looks handsome here. No beard, because that's the thing, because, you know, beards are the makeup for dudes, right? No beard, so just straight face, giving you the face. Doesn't look like a troglodyte. And then he started to fucking inject his face with fillers while he was fat. HGH while you're fat. Steroids while you're fat. Donuts. Whiskey. And he completely went the other way. But look at the difference. Look at how he used to look at one point. Damn, son. But that story is so much bullshit in that story. I think he knew too, by the way. That story is just a lie, a flat out lie. There's nothing about that story that's true. Nothing at all. I think he kind of knows too, by the way. I think he's aware that that story was a complete fucking lie. That's the face of somebody that knows he's lying, by the way. And have you noticed Brendan's back on the abuela eyebrows? Brendan is back on getting his eyebrows threaded. You could tell. Look, he's back on that kind of fucking. I guess he misses the fucking loop, so he does that shit again. Like, just fucking horrendous, man. But yeah, Jesus, bro.
Jumping on an 80-year-old guy.
Runs at him, jumps on, and he's older dude, jumps on him to like hug him, like with her legs wrapped around him.
Right.
Dude, but he can't, you know, he's not strong enough to hold her up. She goes, oh no, and grabs his ears.
Who's this idiot chick?
Yeah, big up Josie. His downward descent makes me believe he's white. Yeah. It's actually wild, bro. Like, if you think about it. I know these are many years apart. To be fair to him, these are many years apart. To be fair to the guy. This is like a lot of, this is like definitely many, many years ago. But look at how different he used to look back in the day. Like, compared to, like, I don't know what era that was. Was that like, what was a peak drunk period of Brendan? Was that 2022? Where he's wearing that blue flannel. Those are, I think, peak whiskey era times. Yeah, the shoey times, like that. Like around that shoot. But even then it's not soon enough. Maybe it was 2001. Maybe it's 2021. There's a period where he was like super heavy in the booze. Like super. There's one picture when he's like super bloated. Okay, so, but here's one as well. See, look at that picture. Somebody posted on the Reddit. That's when's that? 2021, right? Let's get up on it. You see that one? Look at this one. Because he looks, in that video that we saw, he kind of looks like 2011, right? He kind of looks like 2011. So if we get this and we move it all the way over here, he kind of looks like 2011. But now, you know, look at that. Look at 2021 and look at Jesus Christ. Holy shit, bro. Everything needs to be done in moderation. That's the lesson you have to fucking learn from this guy. Everything needs to be done in moderation. Maybe is it 20? Let's see if it's 2020. There's one particular way he's like in SCHAUB'S show. He's in the thing and he's wearing like a blue flannel. That was when he's got some of the worst picture of him I've ever seen. I can't seem to find it now because I need to find it, so I can't find it. But that might be one of the worst ones. Like Jesus Christos. But yeah, regardless, Papa looks like absolute cribbity crap. What can we do? What can we do? Oh, you can't see it. Sorry. Do you not see it? Do you not see it? Did you not see it? True. Okay, cool. My bad. Sorry. I was talking about this picture. Where is it? I don't think I showed you. Did I not see it? Big up Rodolfo Duran. Used to look a lot better too, AZ. Hey, we're not talking about me, motherfucker. All right, we're not talking about me. We're talking about Brendan. All right. Stop calling out my shortcomings. Stop calling out my indeficiencies. All right. Stop calling out how I've deteriorated. We're talking about this guy, not me. Okay. We're talking about this guy, not me. Only this guy, not me. Fucking hell. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Who's this? Okay, apologies. It did not play. It did not play. Let me get this up for you and I'll say it here. Oh, is that a subscription? Okay, cool. Big up the subscribers. Big up my subscribers. Not sure why it didn't show, but yeah, big up the subscribers. But yeah, big up who's that? John Gordon and Jack the Box 54. Big up the people subscribing to the old Chan. You feel me? Anyways, that'll be it. I think I'm gonna leave it there. Oh, actually, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that the picture was like this, and they put the graphic. I didn't know it was a bigger one like that. Did you guys know that the Gringo Pappy picture was this big and it had this like graphic? I wonder why I just always assumed it was a smaller one. I always wondered why he didn't just put us from he didn't go full hack and wear a sombrero in the picture for Gringo Pappy. I'm surprised. Like on a throne with like a sombrero hat on or something, surrounded by baddies, right? Like that might have worked to really push the whole Gringo Pappy, theme behind the whole fucking thing. That might have actually worked. What do you think? Anyways, my friends, I have to leave you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Been a pleasure, never a chore. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you've enjoyed the stream, you like what you see what you like, please make sure you smash the like button down below. Please make sure you smash the like button down below. It's been great. It's been a pleasure. It's been great. It's been a pleasure. So make sure you smash the like down below. I'll add timestamps and stuff later. I'm going to start doing that more often now because, it's nice so you guys can jump around and see what you need to watch. And yeah, man, I'll see all you guys again very, very soon. Thank you for tuning in, my friends. Thank you for tuning in. Big up everybody. Brandon, I see you. Eduardo Madera, thank you for hanging out. Rodolfo Duran, Casey Shuffle, Asada Z's, of course. Big up you, my guy. Big up Pity. Big up, who else was here? Big up Josie, always my love, hope you're well. Big up Stephen Castaneda. Big up Sebastian Nowicki. Big up MT, who's here also. Thank you for joining, my friend. Brian, thank you for joining. Brandon, I think I've said you before, but thank you again. Timo Kazi, thank you again for joining also. Damaz197, thank you for joining. Alan Niyogushima, Alain Niyogushima, thank you for joining also. Just Brizzy, King Bayo, Brendan Mullery, Severa Design. Severa Design, you'll be happy to know we'll do some chin videos tomorrow, by the way. So if Severa Design is back, we'll do some chin videos. I know you want to hear the chin stuff, so we'll do some old chin videos. So we'll go through some chin stuff tomorrow. Eli Winslow, thank you as well for joining. 7 Dirty. So many of you guys, all of you, thank you for joining, man. NJ Ranger was here also before. Andrew W, of course. Big up Pre-Ban for Loco. Night, my friends. Thank you for joining. Much love to you all. Peace. Peace.